Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome to Plus One Shoot the Shit, our variety show where we do a bunch of other stuff on the Plus One Shot channel. Today, we're going to be going through our Fabula Ultima playthrough that we did our session 0 for 2 weeks ago. We've been surprisingly consistent. I blame myself and everybody here for doing something that's interesting. Hopefully, we get pretty far in this today, but I'm just really looking forward to playing this system. My name is James. I'll be running the game tonight. To my stage right is Charles. Will be playing the game.
Hi, hello, I'm here.
Uh, to the bottom left screen, we have Denitra, who will also be one of the players in tonight's session.
Hello.
And then to the bottom right, we have Philip, who will also be playing today.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
So does everybody remember what we made, what we did? Because I have notes.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat.
A real cool world
Yep.
with stuff and things and Slayer's homages.
Definitely.
It's gonna be so Slayer's up. You have no idea. I'm fitting to go ham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, so we did a lot of planning and we did our session 0, which is everybody making their characters and also everybody bringing a piece of the world together. So we got a lot of interesting points from everybody, and I've tried to just do basically there's something really nice for Fabula Ultima called the press start. The press start is with default characters and just has a default story that you can play through. I'm not using any of that because we made our own characters and we made our own worlds. We're going to make our own press start, and that's what I did. So, yeah.
Nice. Very nice work. Thank you.
Absolutely. I do want to do one news thing before we get started today because it's kind of big news to me, and it is over the course of the last 2 weeks, and that is Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford have retired from Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
Right, yes.
Yeah, they are no longer in the D&D team. They have moved on.
Wow.
I think Chris Perkins, is genuinely like trying to retire because he's been talking about that for a while now. But I don't know. And I don't know about Jeremy, but he just did his announcement today, I think, on socials.
I think it was, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's tough to speculate in times like this, so I will not,
Yeah.
Who the heck knows?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the Hasbro of it all.
It
Probably a lot to do with it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably not a small percentage of Yeah. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, but oh, absolutely, yeah. And I don't know who goes into that spot, right? Like they were both different titles than everyone else. They were, I don't want to say above because that's not the right way to say that, but they were higher up in the hierarchy than all the other designers. And I haven't seen anything to say that anyone has been put there. So I just don't, I don't know.
And game design, man. Vibes
Yeah.
and rules.
Yeah. Which is all D&D is. Most tabletop, in fact.
Yeah.
I would say D&D is a little less vibes than most, but still.
I think that's fair. Yeah, so just a shout out to the both of them because they have done nothing but improve my tabletop gaming experience as far as I've known for all the years that I've been doing it. And Chris Perkins is a super chill, super cool guy who just wants to make sure that everybody has fun playing stuff and loves writing stories. So I hope that he at least continues writing things. I'll continue reading them, playing them if they're there.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I had. Anybody else have news items? Anything that they were interested in sharing from the world?
I'm a fan of the City of Mist game that we did a little bit of. But they have their Otherscape, which is their sort of cyber near future stuff. That has their new Kickstarter for Cairo.
Okay.
So it's a
right
near futuristic Cairo rather. They already have a Tokyo, so they went with that one. But now the Cairo one is out and about.
That's a fun city to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very Indiana Jones themey. as far as I've ever
Sure.
seen in most things. Very pulp.
Sure.
I should say pulp noir.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. News. I mean, I usually talk about Draw Steel. It's not like huge news, but they had a Kickstarter for Dice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys saw that. It's shipping now because I just got my announcement. No, I didn't buy a bunch of dice from there for no good reason. No, why would I do that?
Yeah, that'd be
So
crazy.
I totally bought a bunch of dice for no good reason. Now I got to play it in person.
You could roll them on your
But
table.
no, there were.
It's fine.
Never say never.
Yeah. There's a Kickstarter that I funded. I helped fund a long time ago now. That is a set, all 7 of the normal D&D dice, right? The full set there.
Yep.
That are Bluetooth enabled, so that when you roll, they then can transmit what they rolled to wherever. So you can use it in virtual tabletops if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 5 years. One day they'll show up. Maybe.
Sure. This sounds like the
Sure.
vessel, chalice, whatever it was that was supposed to tell you what you were drinking. I remember.
Oh. Yeah.
There've been some. Really,
Yeah, I do remember that.
There've been some really aggressive Kickstarters that were just like, "This is what we're going to do. Please give us money." And then everyone they meet their goals and they're like, "Right, we don't actually know how to budget. That's not something crowdfunding and Kickstarter taught us. So we fucked up."
Yeah. Whoops to do.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully you get your dice. That'd be really cool, actually. But
that'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so who's excited to play their new characters that they've made and looked at and had fun with?
I am.
That's me.
Very excited.
Wow. Okay. I've only been thinking about this character all the time now.
Well, you're going to have to continue to in a little bit more of an urgent manner, because we're going to go ahead and get into our Fabula Ultima game. Now, this is going to be a session like 0.5. It's not a 0. We already did the world building, but I don't have any trim or trapping in places right now, so I'm going to have to ask everybody to really leverage their imagination. If we keep going with this, I'll do music and vistas and things like that set up. But for right now, it's loose, right?
Yeah.
Stay simple.
Loose, you open your eyes. You're on a bed in a cabin, and it's surrounded by wood on all sides. It's a pretty easy little makeshift bed. It's nothing too terribly extravagant, and in fact, it's rather cramped. This is not the size of like a hostel or a inn room that you would normally be staying at. This seems pretty contained. You of course see in the room that you have your travel effects. You have fleeting memory of being on the way to somewhere, and as you slowly get back into the swing of things, you get up, and what will you do in this room that you're in right now?
Well, it's on the way to somewhere.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly.
You have things start coming back to you. You have travel companions. Sure. There was something you were doing, but this is not an uncommon thing for you. You tend to get pretty easily disoriented. Yeah.
Well, they must be outside. I must have my own room. There a window?
There's not a window in this room.
Try to get my bearing. Oh, well then, yeah, we're leaving this room. We cannot abide by being locked in anywhere.
I see.
No.
So you get you get yourself ready, put yourself together. Describe as you're putting yourself together what your character's attire is and what you look like.
Sure, absolutely. So when you said it's loose, right? I went, yeah, it's theater of the mind. Wait, you meant my character name. And it's Luce.
Luce, understood.
Yes. But most people call them Lou. So they themselves are pretty androgynous, little shorter than average for humans in this world, little darker skinned,
Mhm.
maybe from someplace a little more sunny. But the thing you immediately notice in pajamas or sleeping clothes is the kind of runic circuit board ish tattoos down their arms
Mhm.
coming from their torso, um, that kind of terminate at the hands, like going all the way down to the fingertip on the back of it. Um, when they get ready, they put on longer sleeves to cover it mostly. They don't really wear gloves though. So they're also in kind of what I would describe as kind of vagabond traveling gear, very much not um, ornate or brassy in any way. Um, they also wear a diadem kind of hanging here in the middle of their forehead with a circle with a bar through it. Now that's just jewelry, but that's the only jewelry that they have. Kind of longer, unkempt, natural style that falls in one direction. Um, this kind of purplish black hair. As they get up, they put on their clothes, cover up their arms, and kind of peek out the door, just like, where am I? Am I in a
You
safe
you see
place?
a pretty standard but still kind of cramped hallway with
Mm.
doors on all sides. There was actually no, there wouldn't be a window into a room where you're staying to sleep. That's weird. So as you peek out the door, you do see that there's just a row of doors and there is an obvious stairwell up out of this
Up,
what looks like staying quarters for people.
up. Okay.
And then
Well, yeah.
at the top of those stairs there is another door and there is light coming out from windows that are in that doorway.
Well then, yeah, we're definitely going up. Um, being down and in a cramped room is no fun. So they're just gonna skip the rest of the doors on this floor. They're not sure where companions are. So we'll just kind of go up towards the light and hope that I remember at least the faces of the people that I'm with.
Sure. Also, if I'm taking too much liberty with your character, let me know.
Oh no, that's fine. Perfectly fine.
Okay, good. So with that, two almost like kitchen style looking double doors with single porticos on each of them. And as you push, they give easily and you open up into
Hmm.
bright light and a rush of air as you look ahead of you. You're on the bow of an airship.
Okay. Well, sunlight, it was kind of an adjustment. The air feels nice, but that's when Luce realizes that air is moving really. I'm on an airship.
That's right. And that's when you're
Kind of.
reminded that you were traveling to a destination on an airship for a job.
Hmm,
You got
hmm.
yourself into an expedition group that is traveling to a breach.
Ah, now that makes sense. Like, actually says out loud. Now that makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just wait for them. So Luce, if we can see if they can see the bow, they're gonna go up towards the front and just kind of vibe with the air that's flowing by. Just kind of enjoy it.
Now,
See if somebody shows up that recognizes them.
who of the two of you would we see at the bow between Denitra and Philip's characters? Who do you think?
The bow
Uh,
is the front, right?
Mm-hmm. Stern is the back.
I don't think me.
Okay.
Uh, then we'll say Evans is up there then.
As you walk up, you see a familiar face. Evans, if you could, or Denitra, if you could describe Evans to us as Luce sees them.
Evans is wearing He's man. Um, I would say like average height, like 5'9", 6 feet. He has warm, dark skin, but warmer colored. He has like uh I'm sorry, y'all. He has braids, long dark braids. They come probably to they're tied back, and he has like two ties in his hair, like so like one to keep all of his braids together, and then the second one to make sure that they're not just like a big poofy,
One
ponytail.
to
It's
lock
just
it
to keep
down.
everything. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, um, he's dressed not dapperly, like the only thing that seems to be like fancy is the fact that his pants are like pinstripe, dark pants with like light pinstripe. He's wearing a waistcoat and he is looking watching the clouds go by, enjoying the breeze, and
Does he
he's
have
just
a hat?
standing there.
I forget.
He usually has, or he has a hat with him, but since he's on the bow, he does not have it on. He's just enjoying the breeze. It's not like it's sunny, but he doesn't want to accidentally,
It's a
lose
long
his
way
hat
down.
over.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And so, uniform style outfit, pretty kind of dapper layout, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. He's wearing a waistcoat, like, looks like he's going to work.
Prepared for the day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And so you of course see Evans there, and you recall that this is one of the other folks who was on the expedition with you. You haven't really spoken to each other yet, but there was a band of three of you that were hired to be both assistants but also as light protection duty for a particular researcher who was trying to get to this breach. You were hired in, we haven't come up with a city name yet, but it's going to be the central capital city of the Spy Nation.
Ooh.
And this was a way to make some money and also a way to get yourself closer to breaches. Evans, why are you here?
So I took this job because I also want to, you know, line my pockets a little bit, and I am curious about these breach things because
That's more
we're
than enough.
that yeah, we're working on it. But yeah, like we knew as soon as we heard breach and contract, we're like, Evans is just like, yeah, I'm there. I got this.
I will
So
say there was also a particular focus in being good at investigations and research and being
mhm.
able to go into a place and find your way around, which I do believe Evans is particularly adept at. So it felt like it was something right up your skill set.
Yeah, he saw the wanted ad or whatever, and he was like, yeah, okay, that looks like easy work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Plus, I might find out stuff.
Sure. And then, of course, where would we see uh, our good friend? Oh, I wrote down the character names, and then I looked at the wrong stuff. Here we go. It's Corbin. Where would we see Corbin? Let's say it's
I
not early morning, but early light. Sun isn't. It's not noon yet.
I would say that you would like sort of go back to his room, whatever cabin he had, and you could see the bed
Mm-hmm.
and completely unslept in, and then the camera just sort of pans over and he is passed out on the floor next to it. He tried, almost got there. and he just sort of like does the like and just wakes up with a start and is like, "Oh, where am I?" Like, oh, but too much. Well, maybe just right amount. Oh, whatever. And gets up and
the sway of the ship has I'm gonna say has a bottle roll and clink landing next to you on the floor.
he's like, "Ooh!" Grabs it and tips it up, and realizes it's empty.
No.
Never so lucky.
Has Corbin got me again?
Okay, I gotta find another bottle. So he'll slowly get to his feet and make his way for the door.
All right.
Trying to remember where he was last night and how he ended up here today.
Fuck, Corbin, it is bright. You are flying into the sun. You're on an airship. You remember that now, right? This is our first. It is a 1 day's fast travel from one of the Spy Nation's airships to deliver to this job that you signed up for. You got hired on as muscle. I'm not going to say for you exactly how interested you were one way or the other, but something that I will point out is that an old acquaintance, Luce, is on this job as well. And you had not planned this, but you are both in the same place now. And as your eyes focus in the haze, as groggy as you might be, you do see Luce and the other person who is on this expedition with you through the hustle and not the real hustle. At this point, chores and stuff have been managed on the airship, so it's mostly just maintenance and people making sure riggings and devices are set correctly, and someone up in the crow's nest looking out over top of things.
He'll make his way up and sort of like see the people he recognizes and be like, "Oh, hey Lou," and then
Evans.
how's
Evans.
yeah, it's Evans, what I said. How's it going? Did I miss anything important?
No, just a fine morning
What
above
day
the
is it?
clouds.
You can tell Corbin is still wearing the same clothes as yesterday, which for always sort of look the same. It's sort of a uniform, but more armor based than just like politics or cloth. It kind of stands out because it's a dark purple. He doesn't have a mask or any kind of headgear on currently because that would be silly, right?
Yeah.
He would just do that in public. But yeah, he's got most of his adventuring gear on because he fell asleep that way.
Mm-hmm. I woke up like this.
Yeah. He always kind of gets like a half night's sleep because he's like, "Oh, I should take off my armor." Doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah, it's fine. Comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember him, right?
Mm-hmm. You do. Mm-hmm. This is actually
okay.
Of all the things that kind of flow and ebb around you, Corbin tends to stay a fixed point.
Gotcha.
So
copy that. Okay.
You haven't.
Then
I will leave it up to the two of you whether or not you have been spending time with each other, or if you had been separate and then this is you coming back together. Actually.
I mean, we can flip a coin.
Yeah, sure.
Either way, what do you think?
I will say heads. We've been
sure,
on a few adventures, and tails we haven't seen each other for like a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a heads, tails.
Okay.
Heads.
We've been on a few jobs together.
Okay, cool.
I was able to remember your name.
Okay, yeah. So then Luce is Corbin. Okay. All right. Now it's making more sense. Well, it's not making more sense, but it makes sense that you're here. And you're Evans, you say.
Yeah. So so Evans seems a little confused that the two of them seem a little bit like disoriented, like
Evans,
did, did
you're not from here, or are you? I forget. When it comes to the Spy Nation, is that your home nation?
yeah, yes.
It is. Okay, so with that being the case, then actually that makes more sense. You are a person, would you say that you are more of a gets around person, or are you the kind of person who stays in one place more?
No, he gets around.
So you have air legs. This is normal
Yeah.
for you. Whereas for people who aren't necessarily from around here, or people who tend to be pretty sediment in their lifestyle, airships are not a normal thing, and it can be very disorienting for somebody as they're flying through the sky, going from place to place, especially because, and this is about the strangest thing, is that airships seem to stick to the sky so well that it's actually, you don't really need sea legs for it. Like, they tend to, unless you're doing like really strong maneuvers, they tend to feel pretty solid.
Cool.
So
you may have noticed Corbin from the day before being slightly intoxicated and or loud. So that might explain why he has a slight confusion.
the two of you look like you got look like you were in a collision course with another airship in the night. Sleep well?
Oh, I don't remember.
Think so? I think so.
You think so?
Uh,
Were you hitting the sauce too, my friend?
no, I don't do that. But when did we meet?
Oh, we
It would have been yesterday.
you boarded ahead of me. I didn't think I was that unpopular.
No, it things come and go sometimes. By midday, usually I remember a lot more. It just takes a little while.
You know, I remember somebody mentioning. Actually, no, I'm lying. Well, are the two of you going to be okay for what we need to do once we get to?
Yeah.
The breach.
Yeah.
To the northern
Right.
skytree
Yes.
forest.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I can work this off.
Absolutely. Breaches are where I'm in my element.
Well, I would suggest that the both of you, especially you, my tall friend, drink some water, I guess.
I mean, there's plenty of water in the beer.
I hate that.
Whatever you
I
say.
hate that so much. Beer has water in it. Coffee's water. Alcohol's water, mostly.
Yeah. 90,
I don't think there's water
95%.
Yeah, it's really, really high percent, right?
Yeah,
The
sure.
ice
fine.
helps.
Yes.
Don't y'all just love the view from up here?
I really do. So are we like flying over an ocean or
You're flying over
over land?
Grand Forest. Before you, I want you to imagine a redwoods style forest. The trees
Easy.
are
Got it.
enormous, and you are so high up above them, even still.
This is
So look,
probably the first time I've seen this. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Yes.
I don't think I've been this high before.
It's a
Yeah,
little dizzying, Corbin.
Like It's like a
Don't-
green ocean down there.
Yeah. In my opinion, it beats the the real ocean. That's just a whole different beast to fly over, in my opinion.
You hear from the crow's nest, "Spot mark!" And then you hear a flurry of movement coming around as people start moving left, right, and center for all the crew of this airship, making sure you would probably know more than the other two, Evans. This is prep for landing. And you see beneath you an open clearing that they are slowly leveling themselves out in and making sure that they get exactly the right angle so that they can come down.
All right, my friends. Sounds like we'll be landing soon. Should be pretty gentle, so,
As you are as you're seeing this, what you hear footsteps rushing up behind you, and a very slight, very pale, dark-haired girl with big rimmed glasses oofs her way over to the edge and looks down below her and looks around. She pulls out a device and pops it open and checks it. You see the markings of a member of uh Yonkos origins. Very clean, very sturdy outfit, but also with a bunch of bits and bobs. This is the researcher that hired all of you. Her name is Duvala Roan. She is very, very small, high energy person, but as she's moving forward and checking around, she goes, this isn't right. Wait, hold on, Captain. And she starts running over to a person that you see at the stern of the ship behind the captain's wheel, who is just every bit the captain that you would imagine, even comes with the eye patch. He's sitting there steering and shouting orders to everybody, and immediately looks annoyed as this small ball of energy runs up to him and just starts complaining.
Uh-oh, here she goes again.
Maybe she's right. Is he blind? Wait, he's got one eye.
Yeah, but people can still see even if they have one eye, right?
Wouldn't that be harder to do?
Well,
You hear him
depth
shout a
perception's
depth
messed
in
up.
the air based on eyeballing it and immediately being corrected by his first mate, and then re-shouting the correct altitude. Depth perception
Well,
not exactly the best.
Well, I guess there's a crew. How many of these have you been on? This is normal, right?
Well, you see, you do typically need a better grasp on depth perception, but I mean, he is a professional, so.
Watch for tree fall. Make sure that everything's secured in the rigs. What do we want? What do we want these things to be powered by? Do we want it to be a crystal power system? Do we want for the spy nation? Do we want them to be mechanical? I forget.
Oh yeah, because we talked about that. So if I remember correctly, they have the wood.
They do.
But they might not have like the magic and the other things. I don't remember if we wanted them to be more.
Well, I think we wanted the spy nation to be very cosmopolitan in terms of what they have access to, because they are the trade nation.
Right, so they have access to everything, so it would make sense that it's kind of a mixture.
Like, so what he's gonna say is cut the engines, convert to crystal.
I guess.
And you all feel as the thopter elements of the ship stop, or slow to a stop, and you feel a drift and a little bit of free fall until you're caught and held, and then slowly start
Uche is immediately sitting down, crisscross applesauce, just to be in more contact with the ground.
Yeah. As this is happening, you hear Duvala absolutely just saying, "You can't land us here. This is too far out. I have to carry my purse that far. That's way too far to go." And you just hear him say, "Miss, I told you this. There's only one place to land close enough to where you want to go." And he points to a map, and on the map there is only one clearing in the forest area of the map. You have to land here and then go on foot. I told you this. Little shout out for all my airship friends who are like, where do I land on this stupid island? Oh god, there's one circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna be putting a lot of stuff in this game that is that.
Corbin's like, I hate walking. It's so long, so tedious.
Yeah, it's better than swimming, though.
I do also want to ask for an elemental help here, by the way.
Sure.
This captain is a sky captain from the Spy Nation, but what cool name do they have? He is an official sky captain of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So like not his name personally. What do you call a sky captain?
The title.
Yeah, like
what's the the Red
name?
Wings?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, with the nation as it is, cosmopolitan, kind of at the center of the world, but also about intelligence and information gathering, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they would call
the Sky Blades.
Sure.
The aerial knots?
Aerial knot?
Yeah. Instead of like an astronaut?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to put something like, you know, like something that has the connotation of seeking or scouting or something. Like just because it's the Spy Nation and they look for things, but I kind of like, you know, because I think cosmonaut and I think the kind of like rustic technology type stuff, right? Because it immediately makes me think, you know, like Soviet era.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question.
We can come back to it if we have more ideas later. But we have Skyblade. We have Aeronaut.
Skyblade, Aeronaut. Yeah.
Yeah, or however sort of sounds, you know.
I was also thinking of potentially something with like a bird of prey connotation, like Sparrowhawk or something like that.
Kestrel.
Ooh, I
Kingfisher.
like Kestrel, and that's the name of one of the airships from Final Fantasy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. Yeah. Yeah, or like some cool bird with a cool name.
Could the ranks be bird kookaburra?
Sure. Yeah, maybe their ranks are that. Yeah.
Yes.
Start off as a swallow or something.
Right.
Finch.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
I like Kestrel. Let's make him a Kestrel.
Sure. And the group of them could be called something else, but their titles are, you know, like Kestrel something, right?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
The group is called a flock.
Yeah. So it. Well, I mean, like aerial knots or sky blades, but each one is a kestrel or a sparrow or a whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That sounds cool. I like that. Let's go with that. Okay.
Sure.
So we have that in, and then basically they do the prep, and the ship goes down. And despite potentially looking like maybe he's on in his years, you notice that this captain runs on this kestrel. You notice this kestrel runs much stronger on vibes than he does on info. He makes a perfect landing. There was never an issue. And as he does, he starts to say, all right, help with loadout. And everybody on the ship goes to move all of your bags out where you can get to them. And your things are all provided to you, including what looks to be an enormous device that seems like it's got a big glass like cathode tube almost, and then it's got a bunch of different setups. It's roughly the size of like a curio cabinet, and you would guess by looking at it that it would be the heft of a filled curio cabinet. And on the bottom you see PRSE, purse.
Do I remember this thing? Have I seen this thing before?
why don't we do our first check of the game? What would you
Sure.
like to do to see if you remember or have any knowledge of what this thing is?
Okay. Well, I believe. Yeah, I'm just going to try and take a look at it and try and figure out what it is and how it works.
Mhm.
So I let me look again.
Here, I can
I
help
don't
you out with
believe it's
this
connected to.
because
Yeah.
the just so that we can have a person in case
Mhm.
anybody's following along. I'm going to be referring to the press start. The press start
Yeah,
has
copy that.
checks on page 15, and the attributes would be Dex, Insight, Might, or Willpower.
Right. So I would guess insight to try and figure out or discern what the heck this thing is.
Mm-hmm. And I would give you, probably because you're just trying to use cognitive power for this one, let's go with double insight.
Okay, rolling that.
Okay.
And 11. Oh, right. I'm still in control of Evans. Let me just pick the dash instead. So that was actually me rolling, and I got an 11 on the 2d8.
No worries. An 11 will absolutely succeed for you. Your insight check is successful, and you recall that this is a device that was explained to you. This is a. I wrote this down because I thought it was funny to make the joke about her needing to carry her purse. It is a portal resonance signal emitter, or PRSE purse. This thing is the emission resonance device that this researcher has been wanting to bring into the breach to be able to do calculations. She's explained it in very long detail, whether or not anybody was listening.
Definitely
Corporate
listening,
Dominant.
Tried his best to listen.
There you go.
but I definitely don't remember. But I do remember this thing because it's very, very interesting, and I want to see it work in a breach.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember.
Right.
And that's hers. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now I remember.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is she cute?
Oh, she's like, okay, so do you want me to tell you where I'm pulling inspirations for these characters from, or do you want me to just play the characters straight? See if you get
Oh, you know what? Let's play this character straight at first. Well,
Sure.
she is very pale complexion, but very stark freckles, big rimmed glasses. She has a cap that has like a bunch of different devices that she can flick on and off for like visual, but then also for like basically it's functional. It's currently down back, and she has big bushy hair into two, like, spat tails that come out. It's not really falling necessarily. And then she is very slight, very small, but she has. Give me a second here. Can I get a sound test?
yeah.
Can you hear us?
I think
Hi,
I can
hello.
hear you. Yeah, I can
Yo.
hear you just fine. Sorry, I need to
Okay.
really switch out these headphones, but I want to make sure that both are on, because otherwise it kills the sound for everything if I don't have noise.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yep. So, she's adorable, but she's like tiny and slight adorable, but she is a grown woman and very much knows what she is about, and very unhappy right now. And she just kind of stamps her foot at them taking stuff off the ship one piece at a time of her things, of which there are probably a few too many for traveling the way that they are saying. And the whole time she is arguing with this kestrel and just saying, "You don't understand. I need someone to help with the escorting." And the captain just says, "Hey, I was paid to drop you off. These people are paid to escort you. I'm getting back up in the air as fast as possible. There are apparently bandits in this region, and I don't want to leave my ship here for them. So if you don't mind, I really need you to get off the boat now."
Well, damn.
She just stares in frustration, adjusts her glasses, puts two fingers in her mouth, and does a shrill whistle, and you see a large figure emerge from within the cabin. Cord, her escort, her personal escort. And he moves over, picks up a bag, puts them over into one hand, and then grabs the giant device over his shoulder and slowly starts trudging it down off of the airship.
Ooh.
Ford is a
Yeah,
big guy that is indescript. He seems to be covered in a large jacket and a deep hood. There seems to be armor underneath everything that he is doing as well.
Well, I'm glad he got the heavy stuff. I mean, I could carry it, of course, but I don't want to.
I can
Yeah.
I can help carry something small. Is there anything that won't over encumber me that Evans could grab?
You could definitely grab like a tool bag. You
That's
see
what
like
Evans is gonna do.
spanners and different sizes of hex wrenches and things popping out of it. You assume it's probably for configuration on the device.
Yeah, he's gonna carry that to help out because what else can you do?
Absolutely.
Corbin's just gonna grab his like armor and his weapons and shield and everything and be like, "Yeah, my hand's full." Like sort of grab it up and like throw it over his left shoulder and make his way off the boat.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Luce, do you even have much more than a ruck?
no. Uh, no armor, no weapon. No. So
Traveling light again.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think that I have anything that. I checked the room. Yeah, I did. No, I don't have anything. Hmm. I can help out. Is there
Okay.
anything to carry
Oh, yeah,
or not?
I will say, Luce, you've traveled a bit, whether or
Hmm.
not through airships, so you know she overpacked. She definitely overpacked.
Sure.
She thought there was going to be some sort of base of operations with the airship. I guess
Mm.
just assuming that they were going to wait for her.
Sure.
Meanwhile, the captain has basically let her know, we're going to go ahead. We're going to be gone. You're here for X days. We will pick you back up at that time.
All right.
If
Well
you need
then.
anything, and he hands her a little gun. It is not a normal gun. You notice that it is a flare gun.
Ah.
Okay.
Just remember, that thing has a range of about 100 meters up into the air. And then you're going to need to make sure, and he gestures to the giant trees that are surrounding you in all directions. You're going to make sure you're clear of all of this. Otherwise, you're probably going to hit a tree and it's not going to get anywhere.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question about that. Evans just, he's standing next to Devla and the Kestrel, like, and he's like, so how exactly would we use the flare gun and miss the canopy to alert in case there's an emergency?
I'm going to be honest,
Like,
you're going to want to have good aim.
How good are you at climbing trees, Fraulein?
I've got pretty good aim.
Were you asking Davala that?
Yeah.
She's like, and she looks at the tree and she goes, I can climb a normal tree? Probably. She looks over to Cord and is just like, Cord, you could get up there, right? You see through the shadow of the helm that he has on, he just kind of goes, "Ugh." You have not heard
Well,
Cord utter a single word since you have been on this trip.
Okay.
Just a man of few words. I like that.
well, I mean, I guess if push comes to shove, I can climb the tree, or I could ask a friend to help, but hopefully we will not need the flare and a quick extraction.
You all should be fine. Look, there have been reports of bandits in the area, but they tend to not be around this particular neck of the woods. I wouldn't worry too much. Um, watch out for tree fall, watch out for local fauna. You should be good. We're gonna go ahead and they basically this whole thing has just been the unceremonious, like, little pitter patter of thing out, thing out, thing out, and then they're up and the thing's coming up, and he's like, so best of luck. Have fun with your breach.
Thanks.
Thanks for the ride. See ya in, 3 days?
I think it was 3 days time.
Well,
the northern skytree forest is a truly haunting and beautiful sight. The trees are unnaturally large, which is strange because the terrain more closely resembles a wetland, soft land, and pockets of bog-like swamp throughout. This is let's see, who would maybe know this? I would say that this would be something that Evans would know. Evans, you understand stuff about the Skytree Forest. This is probably has been speculated to be due to the strange nature of Skytrees. They're very flexible and strong, but they're extremely light. This is because they have a high affinity for air elemental, and not earth, which is unusual for trees, which is what makes them such great building materials for skyships.
makes sense. Well, hopefully, if we have to climb any of these trees, it won't be one that's about to topple over. But I'm not really too concerned about that right now. I guess we just need to start walking towards our
And now I have a prompt for all of you.
Aw,
Yeah.
shit.
Because you can walk, or you can give me a neat pack beast that we're going to use instead for this, and that will have been planned and be here with you. What you got?
So, I immediately thought of something that would be fleet-footed, but since you said it's kind of boggy down here,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking something that would be conducive to a boggy area, but would still have like a. I'm thinking like uh like a not a.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a
Yeah.
emu or a cassowary, and I'm like that's kind of chocobo-esque. I'm trying to avoid that, but
Look,
not really.
if you're trying to avoid chocobo, you just go lizard, right? Or
Yeah.
amphibian, maybe, like a
Oh,
frog.
actually, yeah. I was like, how about a fleet-footed like frog of Verdant? I mean, some sort of amphibian.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to think
It
of
looks
how
like.
riding a frog would go.
Look, so these aren't hopping frogs. They kind of.
They're running frogs, yeah.
Yeah, they stride.
Are these like... All right. Are we doing Jesus lizards? Is that what we're doing?
We could, yeah.
Yeah, well, or maybe not like Jesus lizard, but okay. So, do you know what a Gizka is from
Ooh.
like Star Wars? Like they kind of like are like a head, and then they got like little like legs. Oh my
Oh.
gosh, that sounds so dumb.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Sure, I'll just
I
look
can
this
find a
up real
picture.
quick.
I was just thinking like a frog, but built like almost like a ostrich. Just
Yeah.
without the
Yeah.
neck, without the
that's
neck and head.
That's exactly what a Gizka is, basically. I'll
Oh,
find a picture too.
okay, I see it. So they have the legs that can jump, but it's looks like they could be just walking instead too.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. What are they called? These weird bipedal frogs.
Guys.
Guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on.
Something that almost sounds like a sound effect, like they're named after the sound they make.
Mm,
A riveter.
Uh, yeah. Uh,
Riveter.
yeah, I wonder. Do
Coquille.
they
cool.
A coquille?
or like a
Goki.
Actually, I like coquille.
coquille? Okay, that sounds good to me.
Goki. Yeah.
Bipedal frog beast called coquille. And you
I
have
thought you said Goki.
Goki, G.
That's what I thought you said. And I was like, and then if they get really mad, they become Goku.
So
I-
frogs do actually make a when I was in Hawaii with Tiki, there is a frog basically epidemic. They are everywhere down there. And they make a kukui noise.
Mhm.
It is their mating call. So koki actually kind of sounds about right.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So you have bipedal frog beasts of burden, and they are very adept at traversing this.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
goodness we
Yeah,
thought to get
that's-
those
yeah.
cookies. I cannot believe he's leaving us here like this. Are you all right? Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to have to walk all this way. We have at least a day's travel to get to the breach.
Well, I mean, I guess we just get started then. I mean, it's like you said, it's good that we have the cookies because
Is there like a supply shop around or anything? Do we need to?
mm,
No.
Corbin kind of looks around. Is like it's just a clearing. It's not like a little like settlement or anything.
It's not.
nah.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be a fun 24 hours.
It's not even
Well, at least we can get to know each other, unless we already have, in which case I'm sorry.
Corbin kind
well,
of looks
I
at me and is
mean,
like, we've known each other off and on for a few years now, but
I
Yeah.
remember you mostly, the most of anyone here, which is more than it's a lot.
oh man, what did I get myself into? Under his breath.
You all see before you, as you start to travel, this strange marsh-like large tree forest that the trees almost appear to be floating in some regards, the roots slowly pulling out from the ground. You can tell that these things definitely have an affinity skyward.
Hmm.
And you're traveling for a little bit of time, and at this point, um, it would be Duvala who's explaining that she's always been fascinated by breaches. She's really, she will talk anybody's ear off about research topics if they let her. The main thing that she wants to know is that it seems like many times the breaches don't have any rhyme or reason for the places that they show up. They don't seem to really coincide in any way, shape, or form with the types of places that they are appearing. You will get a breach that is a marshland in the middle of a winter biome. You will get a place that looks like a lava cave that's set in one of the sky islands, like just things that make no logical sense and feel like they're a boundary cross. And she talks about how she really does feel like there is some sort of place that these are all coming from that is not just from here, and it doesn't always look like it's a thing that has anything to do with anything else. And so she made this device as a research topic from her university in Yonkos, and she is trying to get her thesis published about the fact that these things resonate at a different frequency. And she just goes into this entire big long explanation about what she's going to do once you get into the breach far enough in. And
Okay, so during the conversation and during her info dump, Evans is like he's taking a couple like notes about what she's saying about the breaches and how different environments show up in wherever. But some of this is definitely his head since she is, like college thesis and writing her fucking master's paper, but he is curious about it. So he's not just trying to like ignore her, be like, oh, whatever, nerd. But he is listening. He's just like, okay, interesting.
And she is paying well. I believe the payout is going to be roughly 100 zenit to each of you for this.
Pretty
which
nice.
I think is a good rate. If it's not, we'll adjust it.
Yeah, we'll adjust it. We'll just we'll say, or I mean, Evans at least is just like, wow, like, how'd you get the funding for a manservant and then us three fuckers? He is thinking that at the back of his head. He's just like, how
And
did
us
you
three
get the grant
fuckers.
for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Luce is enraptured with this.
Good. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Apologies. I took a big stream of conscious notes. Oh, right. No. So yeah, you travel through the forest for a little ways, and now we're going to have our first danger segment.
Cool.
I don't like danger.
It's known as
danger.
Tree fall. A tree fall is one of the many natural disasters naturally occurring in the skytree forest. Sometimes the skytree's affinity for arrow becomes too great, causing it to uproot itself momentarily, only to topple moments after. In particularly arrow-dense areas, this can cascade for terrifying effects. So as the old adage goes, if a tree falls in the forest and no one can hear... Wait, what was that? And you hear something that sounds like an actual bomb going off in the distance. It's startling. Things flee from the trees. You hear fauna scattering in all directions. Although it seemed like they were sort of tipped off to it beforehand. But
so like birds flew off and then boom.
What you see from this is, yes, exactly. You see the animals react first, and then you hear this loud boom. And as you turn, you notice what that boom was one of the trees colliding with another. And then another crash, and another crash, and another crash as trees around you are starting to fall inward towards all of you. And we are going to do our first check as a team. So this is actually not a team check, but everybody is going to make a check against a difficulty value of 10 to try to avoid. And I want all of you to decide what way you would do best to try to avoid being crushed under these ridiculously light but still very large trees.
Now, is this a roll check or an open check? See, this are the two options on the sheet.
This will be a is that I don't have the sheet in front of me, I apologize. This is definitely going to be just a regular difficulty level set check. So you're going to describe what your character would do to try to mitigate this situation, and I want you to come up with something that is for your character, and then we will do the thing where you tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what kind of role I believe that is.
Okay.
This will be our first set check that isn't just an insight or a knowledge, that's just for funsies to see what you get.
I think that Corbin would probably try and go for moving, quick movements and or like sheer strength to shoulder check something that might be coming at him, or maybe jump or push off from the ground. I mean, I guess we're riding, so that may not work, but
since you're using a combination of fast movement and also your strength, I believe that would be a Dex Might roll.
Okay.
Makes sense to me, yeah.
Not great, but
not the best. But still better than 5. The difficulty is 10 though, so you are going to have a consequence. But we'll get to that later. What would other players like?
Well, would you like to go first? Would you like some help, Evans, as you go through? Because I know your sheet is harder to read because you don't have the app.
Yeah, it's very small. I was just gonna say Evans would definitely look towards. He wants to get out of the way, but he's trying to make sure that the person who has hired them is also making sure that she's getting out of the way with what's the other guy's name again? I forgot.
Cord.
Cord.
Spelled Kvord.
Okay.
Yep.
But like once he realizes, I guess, what they're doing, he's gonna try to just do not a dodge, because like if it's a tree coming, just trying to get out of the way of the domino.
Yeah, so with your character, you could probably do something insight related, maybe like studying where they are and where you do not want to be.
Yeah.
I could see your character just going, okay, I'll just stand right here and I should be fine. Right?
Like if I tried to do my flash of insight or something.
I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not. I mean, that's up to James.
Describe
but
your
something
flash
with
of
insight for sure.
Well, it says I can investigate an item, creature, or location. And
when you roll a 13 or higher already,
yeah,
perform to investigate a creature, item, or location, you get bonuses. So if you're trying to investigate the tree or something, the trees in general, to see, if there's a pattern or I don't know if you could counteract it in some way.
I mean, I feel like you wouldn't try to counteract it, just like get out of the way, because like
Sure.
This is a naturally occurring thing that happens in this, air forest, because this is what these trees do occasionally.
Yeah.
And I mean, my character's kind of from the region, so he's just like, okay. The trees are falling. We have to make sure we're out of the way of that. That's just my thought.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're trying to like math it out to figure it out, I think that this would probably be a combination of dexterity and insight. Your ability to move out of the way combined with your ability to math out where the trees are going to end up landing.
Yeah.
So let's get that dex insight roll.
Since this is your first roll, your dex is a d8 and your insight is a d10. So you're going to roll 1d8 and 1d10. /R 1d8. I don't plus 1d10. I probably the syntax there.
It would be like 1d8 plus 1d10 typically.
So yeah, /R. Space plus. I don't know if you need a space, but I would.
After /R, you will need
no. Yes. Yeah, so that works.
Oh yeah. That's the same
so
roll
that
that you got
does
earlier.
work. Yeah, so I was just doing it to show her. That's not for me. So yeah, it's just /R space 1d8 space plus space 1d10.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're fine.
We'll get these sheets up next time so you can just click on it.
Yeah. Or that add-on that puts the dice at the bottom so that we could just click them.
Oh yeah, I like that add-on.
Yeah, I can do that too. Yeah.
Oh, you got
so
pretty
that's
high.
a 12. So that is beating the difficulty level DL of 10. So you are good to go there. You almost got a 13.
Yeah.
And then finally we have Luce. Luce, what do you think you would do?
Okay, so they've caught on to their kind of air aspected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are pulled skyward. Could could they potentially, as they are a tinkerer, infuse an attack with arrow to try and just make it float away from me, right? Just go away from me. Just kind of push it with air,
since
or overly aspect it with air.
Would you like to? Is this something that you would usually do with an attack?
Yeah, usually.
Okay. What
Yeah,
is
that's the
your
only thing you can.
weapons attack dice pool?
Okay. I went back into the character designer because I can't see my spells otherwise. So that should be Dex Might. Yes, it is because it's unarmed. So Dex Might, it's what I rolled earlier. It's a D10, D8.
Oh, okay. You want to just take your roll?
You know what? Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Then you got an 11 on
yeah,
that.
let's do it. Yeah.
And you also succeed the DL of 10.
So to kind of explain it, Luce holds out their hands kind of in a, I can't do it because I push to talk. But imagine, if you will, we all know DBZ, we all know TN, the kind of triangle push the ground, push you into the ground attack, but at this tree that's falling towards them, to just kind of push it out of the way with this force. So yeah, that comes from their hands and the glowing runes on the backside. So they glow, I guess green is arrow in this world?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. So they glow green and they channel some kind of arrow energy to push that tree just skyward. Just go away. Just go that way.
So you see as the tree is slowly falling towards Luce does a symbol and just goes Kiko ha, and the air comes out. There is a blast of green that emits from Luce, and as it does, it gets absorbed into the tree, and as it's falling towards them, it then just slowly rocks and moves back away.
What the hell?
And then you hear a loud crash.
Yeah.
Possibly a yelp from our good friend Corbin.
Yeah, so he gets, I guess, gets knocked down, and you notice that he is pinned under the tree, like it has landed on his right side. And so he's like, ah! It like makes like an aggravated sound, not necessarily painful, but like aggravated. And he like slowly like shifts over, and you notice that his like coat armor thing that he wears, like as it comes loose, and as he stands up, he just looks, and you can see that the bottom half of his right arm is broken. And he's like, do you know how expensive these things are? And he just sort of grabs it and sort of breaks it off, like finishes breaking it and drops it onto the ground. It's like, every time I get a new one, just breaks.
Oh, goodness gracious.
All right. And that I do
yeah,
believe that is
he has no right hand.
That is at no cost to you mechanically for the character. But I will go ahead and just equip you with a status effect.
Okay.
We'll say you're missing an arm. So for right now, you are weak. Your might die is one size smaller.
Okay.
Luce kind of, have I seen him do this before?
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, what do you think, Philip?
So yeah, he has not had a right arm for many years.
Okay. Well then, Luce, oh, you go ahead.
No, that I don't know if you would have ever specifically asked how he lost it, but you've known
probably not. No.
Since you've known him, he's probably not had the arm. He's had something there to compensate. Tries to get a mechanical arm and is part of his like quest is to get a better, like an actually mechanical arm. They exist.
Gotcha.
He knows he can get something that will equate to a real arm.
Got you.
But until that happens.
Okay. Then Luce will say, if you're all right with this, wait. Oh, right. I think last time it was a drill, like that hand crank drill. That was a Yeah, we're gonna have to find you another one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've learned better to without it, but yeah, I would like a functioning arm again.
You notice that for the briefest moment there was Duvala held over like this, and then what you see is that one of the trees has cracked as Cord just has a fist straight up over top of her, and the tree just broke where he hit it.
Damn, boy, you strong.
I could have done that too.
And
yeah, it was just on the wrong side, honestly.
Jeez.
And she is no longer under him, being protected, because she saw that arm fall to the ground, and she is immediately on top of it, just looking at it like, where did you get this from? Is this from? And she like names like 3 different ateliers who would be fashioning prosthetic arms.
No, those groups charge quite a bit. This is a cheap knockoff.
Oh.
Bootleg arm.
Yeah.
Boot arm.
Boot arm. God.
Luce just shakes her head and goes, you know, I missed the one that was like shiny. Where'd that one go?
Lost that one in a poker game.
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Was that your fancy arm, your going out arm, and you lost it in a poker game?
Yeah, it was.
Damn, tough break, man.
I really saved up for that one. I thought that was gonna last. That was a bad hand.
You know what? Look. If we once we're done with this job, I know a guy. Maybe let's get you another arm. Like I know a guy. I mean, it may not be high class.
I'm going to say at this point that we have actually.
I was trying to think of like a fucking like name, and it drawn a blank. I was like JP Barnum.
No, Moochie, not Gucci, but Moochie.
Yeah, Moochie. Yeah, I was like, it may not be, my friend may not be Moochie level, but you know what? He does good work.
I would say at this point that we've actually transitioned from being right outside of the tree fall event. We are actually at a camp now, because I would like to transition us to another thing that this game loves to do.
Sure, yeah.
A downtime. Because it feels like we're already doing it anyway, right?
We moved into it naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of tree cover, and a bit more movement has happened. I assume that you brought the arm with you just because you're not just going to leave it on the ground. Or maybe you will.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't pollute the forest.
Yeah, he'll roll the tree over with his, he's still strong, but move the tree over and pull his arm out of it.
That too. Just kind of.
Thank you. And pick up the arm and just sort of like he picks up his bag over his left shoulder, and then reaches down, picks up the arm, and kind of throws it over his right shoulder.
That's great.
Right. Let's see. Trying to scroll through things. Apologies. So
I'm here. I just have to go. I can still hear.
Sure. So let's go ahead and transfer to, you've moved a little bit for the day after the tree fall event. You've gotten to basically right up before where the breach is, but it's getting really dark and you wanted to go ahead and try to make a camp somewhere. We're going to go ahead and do a setup where there's a campfire. This is your standard camp out in the middle of a game placement. So everybody has their own little
Yeah.
spot that they are at the camp, and people can walk between and talk to them. And you see that Duvala is over doing calibrations on her machine. Cord is bringing cords of wood over to make sure that the campfire lasts. Anybody who feels like they would do camp activity of some sort, like pitching a tent or cooking or anything like that, feel free. But something that I want us all to do is all of you do not have bonds yet.
Right.
And downtimes are where you can engage in adding or changing or replacing a bond that you have. And I'm interested to know how you all feel about your bonds with each other. I feel like we could start with either it can be something that is in the moment right now. You have you know how I like to do the little vignettes. You can either do a vignette here. I feel like a vignette has already occurred between Evans and Corbin relating to the arm stuff. But also for anything during travel, if there was like you thought you would have like a moment where your two characters would engage with each other for that, or if you two specifically previously had engagements between each other and you think that there was a bond that was formed from that, please describe it. And these don't have to be one to one; they can be one-sided.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking for the bonds would probably have an admiration for them, just because in the way I was thinking, and feel free to correct me, is that when we met earlier, Corbin was just a drunk with no purpose, no goal in life. He was just depressed and distraught on what had happened to him. And meeting you and seeing someone who was looking for something, had a goal, and not necessarily needed protection, but could use, someone with my skill set.
Guidance.
And so he was like, "Yeah, fine, I'll help you." And then sort of saw what your goal was, and was like, "Wow, this person really is trying to do something, and that's maybe I can fix the stuff that I've messed up in my life." And yeah, so that was the one I was thinking.
Sure, yeah. And since we do have the history, and we could talk about that in the vignette. Yeah, I was thinking a bond of loyalty to Corbin, because literally pulled me out of a breach.
Yeah.
And then went, this is the world. This is kind of how you move around in it. These are these things. So you taught me to start. So there's a bond of loyalty for certain. What do you think, James?
I think those are both great.
Okay.
So we get to see the vignette of you waking up, or we get to see as an audience, we get to see you being basically schlepped out of the breach by Corbin, set down, taken care of, made sure that you're okay in potentially clumsy manner, depending on what point Corbin was in his placement. But certainly there is that level of loyalty from you that is forged over the course of all the making sure that you were okay and taking care of you and explaining things to you, possibly even talking to you before you knew the language of where you are now. Things like that. And then of course there was for you, Corbin, it was just the idea of seeing Luce move so fast and being able to pick up on things and having the desire to figure out more and move forward and always being inquisitive and always being not stagnant, which your life had potentially begun to be quite heavily. And so that sort of admiration and the ability to want to match that drive at some level. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I like it.
I like it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
Is it
absolutely.
possible-
add those bonds, and
is it
remember
possible
if you.
to-
Sorry. What? Sorry.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how do we? Can
Yeah.
we add a bond, or it had to be done beforehand?
I'm
You
pretty
could.
sure you can in your sheet.
Yeah.
I don't have a sheet in there, but I put it in my character builder.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to go down to. Well, here. Let's see. There's bonds and there's
Not
bonds.
sure.
Sheet. I'm not sure yet. I'll get a better answer for you later.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Like we could get it there. We can just remember for now. I mean, like I said, my sheet's not even in there.
All right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Denitra, what do you
But
think?
yeah,
for
I think that
Evans?
works.
As far as the bonds are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who would you like to make a bond with?
Doesn't necessarily have to be a party member. You could always make a
That's
bond
true.
with Devala or Cord as well. There would be more of a temporary bond
Yeah,
that would
that's-
fade after this particular event goes.
you know what? Yeah, Evans wants to we're gonna bond with Davala. He's interested in her education and
Sure.
like why is she so focused on the breaches and stuff like that? Like where did that come from? Is it just you know, a niche interest, or is there something behind there? Like why is that her focus? Like, and that's what he's gonna try to, you know, bond out.
Okay. What do you think that would be? So let's see. We only have the 3 in the kickstart, but I want to allow you to pull from the wider Fabula Ultima
Oh,
builds.
number of bonds.
So let's
Yeah,
see.
so I have a list that is admiration, loyalty, affection, inferiority, mistrust, and hatred. So yeah, there's only 3 positive.
Mm-hmm. So admiration, loyalty, and affection.
Yeah.
Do any of those
I can
sound
go
correct for
look
you,
up more.
Denitra? Or do you think you can also just make your own like key phrase one?
Fair.
I can't think of adjectives right now.
Okay.
So there's more in the other books, you say?
Think
Oh, you could just make them up.
yeah. You can just
So
make 'em
I
up.
mean, what are you interested about her other than objectively hot? I mean, you asked the question.
I asked if she was cute, and,
and we
there's a
all
difference
know
between.
rule number
Mhm.
1 for Denitra.
I just want to know. I'm nosy.
Mhm.
You notice as she takes
Mhm.
off all of her pack gear and all of her very stiff that she does, in fact, she is a cute young girl who is not exactly too waifish. She seems to be very much the I work in a machine shop style build of just like having very firm arm to bicep, and then also being able to like roll her sleeves back and doing things that she is working on this machine. So
like the hot chick from Atlantis.
or like the hot
See?
chick from what was Kambini Fortress? That might be a little too much.
Uh,
Kabinari.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Iron Fortress, yeah.
Yeah, Kabinari of the Iron Fortress.
Okay.
The redhead that pulls there's
Oh,
the
yeah,
one gif on the internet for that entire show
Mhm.
is just
Yeah.
hot lady pull thing. Not exactly that jacked, but certainly like, you know, the kind of person who you could imagine is busy having to lift and or keep themselves occupied in any given time. Sleeper
Okay,
build.
okay.
Sleeper build.
Yeah. Um. I think he's. You know what? I want to know, was she or is she in an academic like sorority, anything like that?
Oh, if you ask her about that, basically it will I did set these up, Denitra, and I will say, you've hit my trap card. You see her face sour like a Bethesda character, and she's just like, I don't really have time for those kinds of things. I mostly care about my work. And you get a definite vibe of like, I am not well liked, and I don't know why, but people suck.
Yeah.
She's at that
You
point
know,
in her nerd career.
yeah. I tried that. I tried, university life. I tried getting into, the fraternity of I don't know, Omega, whatever. Didn't quite work out.
The end times, I
Alpha,
see.
beta, omega.
Look, that was the first thing I could think of. You leave me alone.
You're fine.
Is it would there like, because sometimes they have like, sayings or like callbacks that they say. So is it oh or ooh?
It's
You
like
know?
you're going to the principal's office. They just go, ooh.
Ooh.
It's ooh then.
Is it at the same like tone shift as the Colossus roar or something like that? Do you go ooh,
Ooh.
right? Do you do that or?
Well, Denitra,
I hate this.
You're welcome.
Where's my marker?
that.
Mark it down. She said the thing. Didn't say she hates us though, so a net positive for our fair city.
But yeah, he's sympathetic. He was not not unpopular, so he definitely
I was gonna say it's hard for you to be sympathetic. You were kind of a hot boy.
Yeah, and he understands. He's seen it happen. People picking on nerdy people or awkward people, and he doesn't like it. He's not the type of person to do that. He's oh god, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier during the introductions, but he has kind of like a piercing gaze. Like think about like Jon Stewart, Green Lantern Jon Stewart.
Okay, I was like, what?
No, not
Daily Show.
Not that Jon Stewart. I'm talking about Green Lantern Jon Stewart.
Like a hawkish gaze, like the eyes seem to focus beyond you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which I don't know, some people find intimidating and some people find attractive. So it could go either way with whomever.
Yeah, I will say for her, you don't see her being offset by your intense stare.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's chatting her up, not in like a skeezy way. He is just
Sure.
talking, building rapport, like
it's whatever,
sharing college experiences, nerd shit.
You'll find if you ever try to turn to something, I'll just let you know because I love you, Denitra. I have Devala written down. Interests: knowledge, foreign culture, baths, magi tech. Dislikes: politics, business talk, and anybody who's blissfully ignorant.
Sounds like my kind of people.
Yeah. So you would get those interests and dislikes from her in conversation. Anytime you try to steer to something that is like people person stuff, she's like, mechanics.
Yeah, so he tries to like avoid that, but Evans is definitely just trying to network. Does that make any sense?
Get on her good side.
Yeah.
So what I will say is this does sound like a bond of affection, and I want to make it understandable that affection doesn't mean you're wanting to get into somebody's pants. Affection just means that you're interested in growing a relationship with a person. So as we have
he's being friendly.
Yeah, as we have these 3 and 3, admiration, loyalty, and affection are interest in the things that a person does, interest in being with a person, and interest in knowing a person further, kind of, is how you could see
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely 1 in 3 is happening here.
Yeah. So with that, you would each have a bond of strength 1, with the different things that you claimed, and that would be our downtime for the day. And then I'm going to go ahead and have us have another thing happen here. As you are all camping and the tree cover is here, we zoom further out to the top of a cliff. Backed by the moon, looking up at the cliff, we see a shadowy figure emerge, another shadowy figure emerge, and another. Us, the players, not us, the characters. And we see the silhouette of a large creature with a feminine form sat atop it, surrounded by smaller forms on smaller beasts. And then as we get in zoomed closer on this person, we just see a smile form across the face and the two glowy red eyes style, of like this is a shadow person. And then we hear a laugh as they turn and ride off ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk back into the forest, followed by smaller goblinoid-like creatures. And the laugh echoes through the forest. And your party might even hear the faintest oh, 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 almost like the call of a bird in the trees. And because we have had this scene, you have seen a villain. Not necessarily closely, but because you have, as players, you all get a Fabula point. You already had 3, you now have 4. Because anytime that
Yeah.
we do a GM scene, you get a Fabula point for seeing a villain for the first time.
I like it. I need more points. I don't have a use for them yet, but I need more.
What do these points do, and how many can I get?
Yeah.
Unlimited.
I forget if it's unlimited or 5. I think it's 5 because they don't want you banking.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you got to have a limit. You have to.
Mm-mm. Page 96, there is no upper limit to a character's Fabula points.
Oh,
No
there
way.
we go.
All right,
Good
well,
lord.
I mean, they're not that powerful, if I remember correctly.
Plus, you have to spend them if you want to get experience. So
Yeah.
That's true.
You literally, that's right. That's how they make it not bankable. It's not that it's not bankable, it's that you really shouldn't bank them. You should be spending them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you said it's page 96?
6.
You just go to there. There we go. And just so everybody is reminded, because Fabula points are something, they are your coolest resource that you have in this game.
Mhm.
If a player, whenever a player rolls a fumble, they immediately receive 1, which nobody has yet. I have been checking, I promise. Whenever
Yeah.
a villain makes an entrance during a scene, even if it's a game master scene, you get a Fabula point. Whenever a player character is reduced to 0 hit points, you get 2 because of surrender. And if you invoke a bond or trait to automatically fail a check, you can immediately receive a Fabula point. Spending them is able to be spent to alter the current situation to your advantage in some way by modifying or adding elements, or you can have some powerful character abilities that just let you spend Fabula points. One of my favorites is the rogue one. I'm gonna spend a Fabula point. I'm not here anymore.
Bye.
Peace late, I'm out. So it's if you want to change or add new details to a character, location, or item that has already been established, you will need the game master's discretion, but you can spend a Fabula point to do that. If you're altering directly affects another player character, you have to ask them, obviously. You cannot use this option to contradict a statement previously made by yourself or another participant. You cannot use this option to cause mechanical changes, such as adding to your character sheet.
Mhm.
but there will be plenty of opportunities, and I want you to try to find some for your own as well as we go through this place, to spend a Fabula point to just say something about how things work. And definitely, besides me just prompting you, you can interject with those as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the
Sounds
uses
good.
and making my plan.
No, I can't wait. The next morning, you head out. Breakdown camp. Everything looks to be good, and we're going to go ahead and say that you have made it now into the breach. You have found it. You have it is in front of quite possibly the largest of these sky trees that you have found. There is a bough underneath that goes down into its root systems, and in there you see a spot suddenly break out into large glowing sci-fi technological place out of nowhere.
Mm.
If this is your first breach, this is the sort of jarring thing that you see when you go there. It is something that feels almost like you pass through a layer of ozone as you walk into it. This is not
Mm.
your body registers suddenly that you are not in the same place you were. Almost at a holistic level.
Mm.
I described it as the breach looks elegant. It's ruins
I
of
like
an
it.
ancient civilization. Ancient glowing runes set
Yeah.
completely unnaturally underneath the boughs of the largest sky tree you've yet to see. This might seem very nostalgic for Luce, or slightly familiar to Corbin. Might.
Mm.
Yep.
So let me know.
Yeah, I think he's seen this kind of a thing before. Never this sober, so that's not great for him.
Yeah. Luce is positively vibrating with excitement now. This is what they want, right? Now, outside looks like a breach. Inside, that's what they want to know.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that
I just
vibration
picture
is from no short order that Dvala did in fact just test her device, and you felt a pulse of uh bass like uh shockwaves come emanate out and then back through to it, as it seems to do this pulsing out and then back in from this device, and a sort of like expansion and contraction of the air around it, almost like it's sending out questions and receiving answers.
Hmm.
She only has it on for a few moments until she says, okay, the reading's not strong enough here. We will have to go in deeper.
Corbin gives her like a wry smile. Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what
yeah.
we're here for, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, once we make it to the if we can find the center point of this breach, the sort of nexus, as it were, and I'm able to get the proper readings from that, I'm sure there's so much information that we'll be able to uncover, bring back. I'll be able to diagnose and analyze all sorts of things about this. Or it just will give me nothing, because, this is all completely theoretical and I haven't tested the machine in an actual working environment yet from a breach. So that's a thing.
And it felt like it works.
Oh yeah, no. What it does is and she describes that this is technological. This is not magitech. This is just technology, and basically what it is trying to do is just sense vibrations of a surrounding and gather frequency resonance, and see if it can match what's coming and going around it, to see if it can like basically lock into a key for that place.
Okay.
And after
You can
she's
see
go ahead.
as she's describing everything, Corbin's just kind of like half leaned on something, just like waiting for her to finish so they can do whatever and he can take his mind off of just standing here.
We scroll up with the camera. You are leaning on Court. You like, your head starts to like slump a little bit, and you just see his hand like go and adjust you.
Mumble, thank you.
All right, and with that, we're going to go into kind of a free-form area, is what the game describes now.
Mm.
So this would be essentially. Where is my press start? Hold on. Oh, I see we posted in chat. Yes, yes. For those of you who can't see our chat, we have posted the engineer from Cabanare of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna post, reference material in there.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, so descending into this place, there is no real clear path towards the depths of this. There is maze-like, it is interlocked, it is very vast in some places and yet narrow and crowded in others. As you are moving through, you're going to have to try to find your way as best you can to get Duvala Cord, who is rather large himself, and the purse to the central location of this place. For this, I would like us to do a group check. Group checks. You decide which player character will act as the leader. This person will be the last to perform the check. Their result will determine the consequences. The leader describes their approach, which allows the game master to establish the attributes and difficulty level of the check. Other player characters perform a support check. This is with the same attributes as the leader, but have a fixed difficulty of level 10 for each of them. And then the player character who succeeds on the support check gives a +1 bonus to the leader. If any of these characters have a bond towards the leader, add the single highest strength among those bond to the leader's checks as well.
Okay.
And then the leader performs, and we see how they do. So, as a group, decide for me who's going to be the leader of this check for you.
So the only thing that Corbin can really offer here is brute strength, and so I don't necessarily know that that's helpful for everybody. But that's where he is.
Do you want to jock in with me, Charles?
Do what?
Jock in.
Oh, it's hard for me to hear you since I don't have you through Discord. I mean, we need to figure out how we want to try and do it. So you've got brute strength, which I mean, I cannot match. No, but I'm not bad at it. I would. The only thing that Luce is bad at is willpower. So it really depends on how we want to get through here. I think that I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of best chances versus really like what makes the most sense. I think that I don't know how good is Corbin at like insight or willpower or dex? Might is the thing that you're greatest at.
Yeah, might's the thing I'm greatest at. My insight, he's not great. I'm not that smart.
Okay. Yeah.
Decent dex.
We have a very smart person. Yeah, we all picked a different stat to be our main stat, which is good.
No, that's great.
Randomly. Yeah, randomly we did, which is funny.
I remember. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that my dex really helps, honestly. That's just what I am best at. But I can rock with anything else. So really it's up to all of us. I think that the detective leading us through here makes a lot of sense. Yes, Luce has a lot of history with breaches, but they don't remember it. So I don't know that that's going to help that much. So I know that detective is best, Evans is best at insight, but then we might be able to pick might or even willpower as the second one to give us all a good chance. And it could make sense with insight and might to kind of clear the way, or help us No, Cord is carrying the big purse thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I definitely vote for the detective to lead it
Okay.
for
Same.
sure.
Okay.
So you're out. You're overruled.
Okay.
No rock paper scissors.
Okay. Fine.
Unfortunately, we don't have a bond, so no plus
Yeah.
one there. But
But
it's still okay.
I will say that
Yeah.
since Duvala is also participating in this, you can draw on that bond of +1.
Yay.
Ooh, okay.
Cool.
She is not rolling anything, but she is an NPC there that you have a bond with who is also interested in this outcome.
Cool. All right, then. Then insight is definitely one of them. I think between us all, we make above average, even though you might be lower.
Yeah.
And then the other one, might or dex or willpower.
What's everybody's dex score?
Whichever makes more sense. D10.
8.
Oh, I can help with that for Evans. Do you have that sheet up? Should be somewhere near the top. You're looking for your dice stats. They're right next to the empty picture at the top. So you should see dex, ints, might,
Yeah.
willpower,
Which one are you looking for again?
Dex.
dex.
D8.
8. Okay.
So there's 2 8s and a 10.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
That's good.
And it makes sense to be, like delving through this place with dexterity.
Also, I will say that you could argue that there is a lot of like manual manipulation that would need to be done. Like there does seem to be a lot of like consoles and buttons and things about.
Sure. We're gonna press things at the same time.
3,
Mhm.
2. Wait. Are we hitting on 1 or after 1?
Ooh,
On 3.
1, 2, fuck it. Sorry, I like the Heathers the musical. Nobody gets to count to 3 in there. But yeah, okay, so dexterity, insight
Okay.
is what we're doing, I guess. Insight, dexterity with Sam.
Alrighty. So
And
I'll need
Evans is leading.
Evans is leading, which means I need everybody to roll before Evans.
All right. So dexterity, insight.
I will give you a difficulty of 10 for this. Just fixed difficulty.
Ooh. Oh, it's not going to work for me, is it? Because I don't have a character, but that's fine. What happens if I...
Ooh.
Okay, that's fine. I will just do mine since I don't have a sheet in here. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Wowie, wow.
So that's no bonuses.
Yeah, no
You get a
bonuses.
+1.
All right, so go ahead. Click in the chat box, hit up once, and then just hit enter. So that's a 9.
It's a 9.
Don't. It's fine. Just I don't. Let me read that. There's a thing maybe I can do. Okay, so.
Yep.
Dang it. I have to do it before.
We're learning the system.
Sure. So to explain it, one of my classes is symbolist, not symbologist, which I thought it should be called. But anyway, symbolist.
No, you're good at symbols.
Yeah, I'm good at symbols. So one of them is a symbol of destiny. After the creature bearing the symbol makes a check, if you are able to see them, I may spend a Fabula point to force that creature to reroll both dice.
Ooh.
And only if it wasn't a critical success or a fumble. Or I believe we could use Fabula points anyway to try and help.
The Fabula points, the way that you can invoke them right now is after performing a check, if you didn't roll a fumble, you may spend 1 Fabula point to invoke one of your traits, identity, theme, or origin, and reroll 1 or both dice and use the new rolls. So, for example, Denitra could reroll her D8, which got a 2.
Right.
But you have to invoke one of your traits to do so.
One of my traits?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you look in the middle of your sheet, there's identity and theme.
Yeah.
So if you can think of a way that that works, and the other options were it's like
The other option is
what do you
you
trade?
can spend one
I could
fabula point to
do.
invoke one of your bonds and add the strength of that bond to your check. But the only bond that Evans currently has
Mm-hmm.
was already kind of invoked for this check
Sure.
Yeah.
because it's at a 9.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I spend a Fabula point to grant a +2 to them with the assist check, or can you not do that on a group check?
I do not believe you can do that on a group check.
Right. That makes sense because I'm already assisting.
That
Technically,
said, you could re-roll your own check.
it's true.
One
I mean,
or
I
both
may.
dice. You got
Yeah.
a 3 and a 2 on a D10 and a D8. And
Yeah.
if you
So
get
that would
a
let me reroll.
success, that would bump up Denitro's to a 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I can invoke a Fabula point to do that, and I would use the trait of literally being technically born, as far as I know, in a breach and understanding this technology, even though I don't actually understand it. But there's this intrinsic knowledge.
There was the possibility of you not knowing what you were. Oh well, yeah. We'll invoke that trait. Go ahead and reroll. Let's see what you get.
Sure.
Well, that's a bit better.
Just a little bit.
Not a critical success, but certainly an overwhelming one. Luce,
What is the critical again?
A critical is if you roll doubles of 6 or higher.
Yeah. So if they're both 6 or both 10
sixes,
right now.
7s, 8s, 9s, 10s.
Mhm.
It's funny because it
Oh,
makes
they
it so
couldn't
that
be
as
both
the
10.
dice get bigger, it's actually harder kind of to hit.
Yep. It's true.
But, Luce,
Right, well, Mark.
there is things are a bit tense. Everybody is trying to find things, and the further you go in, the deeper and more wrong it feels like everybody has turned.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, occasionally, there is a sliding door or an opening that has a door close over it, and you have to try to find your way around to find the other person. Or other times, it seems almost like you hear noises and try to duck in and hide somewhere. But there is a certain sense for you at a point where you would have been overwhelmed that no, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And you get this dream walking like quality of knowing exactly where to move to and exactly what to touch to correctly manipulate things in your favor. And as Evans is leading this, you are able to assist in that way by not doing it yourself. Sorry, because I misspoke.
Right.
Because this is Evans's check. But in fact, guiding Evans and like pointing and being like, there's something there.
Right. I feel if it's is the purse is only active when we sit it down?
The purse is activated once Duvala actually activates it. She has not currently.
Okay.
She tested it while you were right at the front of the breach and has not turned it back on since.
Okay. Would you be okay with me saying that when it was activated, I felt the pulses, but I'm feeling like the residual bounce off of that sonar of whatever's at the center of this place, and I'm just kind of tracing that.
Oh, you actually
unbeknownst to me. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Just because it's ringing like a bell because of whatever she did.
Yeah. I think that's more than fair.
Cool. And it's just a general direction. Like, no, that's not the way. That's going back to the entrance. It's probably over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And with that, Evans, you were able to correctly manipulate a console finally at the end of all of this searching. that leads to basically the wall where the console stands fully opening up into what looks to be a large etheric style flux of energy that seems contained within a almost like a sphere or ball, but it seems to pulse and fade and pulse and fade.
And wait, I'm sorry. Where did we see this?
You've opened up basically into a big room.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the center basically.
Mm.
Make it to the middle. Do we can see this? Does it have any like effect on us? Like, do we feel it in our like a base? You can feel
Jealous.
move through you. Yeah.
I would say not much more than like a sense of ozone.
Okay. That smell.
Yeah.
Well, then I think since we Corbin has dealt with these things before, would he know if there's any danger
I want to
from
be
these
clear
things?
on one point. Just because you're at
Mm.
what you would argue is the center of this breach, and you have been to other breaches before, there is no typical what's at the bottom of a breach.
Right.
This one just happens to have this thing going on in it right now. You've seen places where the center of a breach is just a big scary thing sometimes, or nothing. A lot of times it does tend to be something that is not necessarily awe-inspiring, but certainly more significant looking than the rest of the breach, but it doesn't always have to be like an energy center or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think he would still prepare for the worst. So, he's actually gonna, in his like backpack of stuff, he's gonna take out his helmet that doesn't wear very often and actually put that on. He's gonna affix his shield to what is left of his right arm, and he keeps the his weapon has it's like a small blade. It's like it looks like a dagger, or a
I'm about to get murdered by this.
I had it. It's a tonto, which is a short blade.
Sure.
And so it looks like he's swinging a dagger, but you can tell that it's like the handle is longer and the edge of it is broken off. So it was at one point a larger weapon, and something happened, and this is he still uses it.
Cool.
But yeah, he gets ready because he'd rather just take it all off and nothing happen rather than not have it.
He'd rather just take it all off. My God.
He would if he could.
Evans, you were able to correctly manipulate that console, opened up into a large room that seems to have like this etheric flux of energy moving around in the middle of it. It does not seem to be affecting all of you like from like a heat or a vibration force, really.
You mentioned there was like a orb.
Yeah, it's
Or
kind
is
of
that-
like in a orb-like shape, but you notice that it like collapses on itself and then pulls back out and then collapses on itself again. It's not staying in a one particular shape, but it
so
tends
like
to be
ferroliquid.
sphere-like with how it's kind of moving. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like ferroliquid. You remember like the old Xbox logo? It was like the first one, the
It'd be
first UI
swooshy,
screen with the green goo, and it could morph into whatever.
Yeah, it's more I would say it's more flowy, but yes. Like that.
Okay.
It does not seem to be physical matter.
Interesting. I am going to say that Evans notes that in his notes.
Okay. And
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. And basically he's just making sure that, There's no weird breach monsters about to bite.
That's fair. Divala goes ahead and has Cord move the purse and set the purse down, kind of central-ish to the room, but decent distance close to this this pulsing flux that seems to be taking place. And she's gonna fire up the purse. And when she does, a huge resonance shakes all the dust off everything around you as it pulses out through this entire place. And everything around starts to vibrate as if being woken up. And at this point, you notice statues on the sides of this room that just seemed like decoration suddenly lurch to life, and two soldier-like statues start making their way towards Divala and the device. It is.
Well, that's not good.
No.
They don't look friendly.
No, they don't. And in fact, they're also accompanied by a bit that seems to just fall out of the ceiling first and locate it, and that bit's what would have activated those two. Sorry, I forgot a piece. So what we're going to do is, if everybody's in here right now, I'm going to have a 1, a 2, a 3.
I cannot see anything.
On
Probably
the
just characters.
yeah, on the picture, and I can put it outside the picture if it helps because the colors are kind of bleeding. Here, let's. There, above the picture, you see 3 enemies.
I don't think I have vision of the table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because we
black
don't have
screen.
actors on the.
Oh, here, I can fix that in a jiffy.
Yeah, you could just give us empty
Lighting. Then we're going to have unrestrict token vision and fog exploration. There you go.
Yeah, there goes.
Oh, was it just black for you guys this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, my dang.
I was like, that's fine.
I mean, it's not much better without,
Didn't need it.
but yeah. So you see,
Yeah, I was like, I can use my imagination. It's fine.
yeah,
don't need it.
you see 2 like statue knight armors, and then you see a floating bit. And so we are going to have our first combat.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay, so first we're going to determine the participants of the combat. It is going to be the 3 of you and potential help from outside from either Cord or Divala against these 2 robots and this 1 floaty eye. They will not, however, be participating as characters in the combat. So initiative is determined. To determine which side has priority. The initiative group check is Dex plus Insight, and the check follows the standard rules for group checks. So you pick one of you who will be the leader, and everybody rolls, and then the leader rolls.
Right, Insight's my lowest, so.
And you might want to have your leader be the person with the highest initiative value.
0. I think rogues are the only one to get an initiative. Don't they?
I think so, yeah. Let me see. I'll help you look at your sheet. So yeah, it's at the top. You have a -1 initiative, Evans. So probably not you. I'm at 0, and Dex Insight is 10-8.
I'm 8-6.
Yeah, And I think it's 10-8 also for Evans, but the -1. So
Yeah.
I could definitely take lead on this one.
Okay.
Do it.
Sounds good.
Let's have Evans and
Yeah,
Corbin
let me-
roll up their initiative checks then, and then if they get to a good number, then you can add a 1 for each of them if they either of them beat a 10. Well, that's not a 10.
Yes.
I don't think anybody else is going to be able to click on that, but I do appreciate that they do have that.
Yeah.
That's way more than a 10.
I think I will
Yeah.
use the Fabula point to invoke. What is the trait?
Uh-huh.
The reroll.
What trait would you
Oh,
like
yeah.
to invoke for trying to get a better initiative in this combat as enemies are coming towards you?
My identity as a former Phantom of Justice.
I see.
Gotcha.
So you just kind
Spend
of
that
grunt
point.
vengeance.
Vengeance.
Well,
Son of a.
sadly, it
Okay,
wasn't a
whatever.
critical fail.
Is that what he had more points?
Yeah, you could have
7.
gotten a fabulous point out of it. Actually, you don't get one just
it
for
would-
failing. It has to be critical. Or you have to intentionally take a critical, which you can do in certain situations. So we have 1 + 1 coming for you, Luce.
Okay. Then I'll roll my Dex Insight. Can I just click that? I've fixed I've made a character sheet now in here.
Ooh, nice. So can you click on the group check and get it done?
It says it's completed. At least the last one does.
Well, oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
That's fine. I can
Because
just
Corbin,
do that and +1, right?
Yeah, +1 on your check. It's because Corbin
Gotcha.
clicked it. If Corbin's the one who initiates it, then he's the leader of the group check. So once he
I see.
clicks,
Okay.
it counts as done.
Okay, now we
just-
know.
I thought that's how we would show what our role was.
Ooh, look at that.
And 11.
And an 11. So an 11 is what your initiative number is. And then I check that against the baddies. So let's see. What do they get? I'm going to say that these guys go. Do they roll 2 or do they have flat values? How does this work? Difficulty level of the leader's check will be 10. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. For this one specifically.
Okay.
Just make sure I've got. I see. All right. And yeah, I definitely need to pay attention to something here. All right. So, you have the initiative, which means that the players go first.
Cool.
And this is a popcorn initiative system. It goes player, monster, player, monster, player, monster.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, anybody have anything they want to do first? In particular.
Yeah, I guess I will. I guess I can go first, and I throw up a couple hand signals and cast a spell upon myself.
Okay.
And I will. Do I just click it? Does that work?
I don't know.
See it. SL skill level 1 description adrenaline. I don't know if it cost me anything. It didn't cost me anything. Spells. That's probably where I got to do it from.
That's not what I wanted.
Okay.
There it goes. Okay.
Yeah, so you
Spent
spent
20.
Ah, you go.
additional action during each of their turns. Once the target has performed a total of 2 additional actions granted by this spell. Okay. So does that count this turn too, or is that on your next turn you get 2 actions?
That would be. I don't know. It doesn't really say
It doesn't.
in anything that I've seen. It just says. I would imagine. I don't know. Like I was thinking about it, and that it would not. But like, so you basically spend a turn, and then you get an extra 2 turns.
The way
So you
that I'm
lose
gonna,
1 to gain 2.
the way that I'm going to, yeah, but I will interpret it thusly. You could use it this turn if you want. The idea being that it grants you the ability to perform a single additional action during each of your turns. And once you have done it twice, it fades. So if you do it now, you get that one, and then you get 2 on your next turn, and then it's over.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, but that's still a net gain. It's just a net gain of basically 1 for 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's going to be regardless. But if you wanted to hold on to it in case somebody else can do something to like make a target more juicy or do anything like that, you could obviously hold on to it. You are choosing whether or not to spend an extra action on each of your turns. And once you've done it twice, you're done.
Gotcha. Then yeah, I will hold off on doing anything else yet. Just doing the hand signals and then I guess sort of taking a stance.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. So next up, we're going to have an enemy turn. All right, and we're going to have one of these big boys perform their halberd. They're going to pull out like a lance, and it's going to go for one of you at random. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is 4. So they're going to go at you, Corbin. Enemies in this game attack at random.
Interesting.
All right.
So let's see. It's going to be Dex plus Might plus 3. 6 and 10. Actions. No. Combat. Yes. Oh, that's not. Whatever. Well, this thing isn't set right at all. All right, fine. So we're going to see how a hit works in this game now. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 1d6 plus 1d10 plus 3. That rolls an 11.
11.
Does that hit you?
Yes, my defense is a 10.
Okay. So the way that this works is you are now going to take high roll plus 12 bolt damage, which is going to be a total of 5 plus 12, 17.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That seems like a lot.
Numbers in this
not
game
really.
are bigger than you think they'd be. The way that you determine how hard you hit something is whatever you rolled for your attack, you take the highest values that you rolled in that attack and you add it to a flat number of damage from the weapon if you hit.
Mm-hmm.
So just so that you all know how your weapons are working as well. All right, so next up is another player turn.
All right.
You said how much damage did I take?
17.
17, yeah. All right. I do have, oh my goodness. I do have your attack in there now, Denise, right?
Oh, okay. Yay.
Do you want me to try to do it?
Oh, you just didn't have your maximum. You can, yeah, if you. Well, it depends on what you want to do on this turn. You could study a creature. Remember, you have Flash of Insight, which might give you something.
I
You can
do
attack.
actually want to study the airman looking motherfucker.
Okay. Please go ahead and do the study roll that you would do, and whatever questions you can ask me, feel free.
I'm trying to hope her find that. I gotta keep your sheet open. Study action during combat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know. I guess it's double insight or.
Oh,
Yeah, it's ins plus ins.
Yep. So double insight. So you would roll that, and then.
So yeah, you can roll 2d10. I think that might work on your sheet now. I've been trying to get it in here at the time. Okay.
Oh. Oh. Well, that's a crit.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you rolled 2 8s. So now we have to look up what a critical does.
Yeah.
On the study action. Okay, so. All right, so first off, your Flash of Insight's going to proc.
All right.
So
wait, hold on.
Whenever you roll a 13 or higher on a check performed to investigate a creature, item, or location, this includes using the study action during a conflict. You may ask the game master up to skill level, which I assume for Flash of Insight's currently 1.
Yep.
Okay. Questions concerning the subject of your investigation. You may ask these questions immediately or save them for later. Whenever you ask one of these questions, the game master will answer truthfully and you will describe your character's deductive process.
Yeah, so baseline study gives you things, and then you can ask a question on top of that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hold off asking a question until I get the initial bit of information.
Yeah.
Study.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think it's page 319 of core.
Studying a non-player character. If you want to know more about an NPC's profile, result, you got a 16 plus. You get to know its rank, species, maximum HP, maximum MP, all of the plus its traits, attributes, defense, magic defense, affinities, and you also get to know basic attacks and spells.
Hey, I'll take it.
Basically everything.
Yo. All right, so starting from the tippy tap. This is, even though it looks like an airman, I'm just pulling a template. This is a construct. This is a rank. Hold on, let me get back to, because these are like nicer versions of meaner things. This is a level 5 construct. It has 50 HP. It has 55 MP. It has. Do I tell you all the attributes and everything too?
Just
everything.
I mean, give me some relevant information.
Yeah, just the relevant stuff.
I'm gonna
I
just
guess
go down the list for you real effing quick.
Yeah.
It goes Dex 10, Int 6, Might 8, Willpower 8. It's got a defense at 11. It's got a magic defense of 7. It's vulnerable to light. It resists dark. It has a claw attack, which is high roll plus 5 damage. And if the target is suffering from one or more status effects, this will deal additional 5. And it's got shadow wings, which will give the shaken status and hit for high roll plus 10. So basically, also, this is a flying creature.
Right.
Which
so
means
melee
if you're
attacks
using
cannot
melee,
hit.
fuck you.
Right.
Yep.
Just the one, right? Just the middle one?
Just the hex.
Yeah, just the middle.
All
Cool.
right.
If it goes below 25 HP, then it loses this benefit. Okay. So your study action, you literally scan the target.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got scan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it goes,
So
"Whee!"
Evans, he, he's like really scrutinizing the thing and he's like, aha, okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you tell us?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was,
No, you're fine.
Go ahead, go back down the list
Oh.
I told you.
yeah, like he's
At any point, y'all can
basically,
just ask me what one of its things is. I'll let you know.
Sure.
yeah. He basically just, like I said, he scrutinized it and then now he starts rattling off like information. He looks like he's locked in. He's just like, all right, that thing that's flying, and he basically says that he's going to attack it like once he can get around to it or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you have one free question whenever you want. Just remember.
Yeah. I have it on deck.
You can't hit it though.
I thought
You have a chain whip, which is melee.
I thought
You can make your gun next turn. It does cost you.
no,
inventory
I
points.
wasn't like I understand
Chain whips
that
aren't ranged.
chain whip.
They are not. They cannot hit flying enemies.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Hey,
it's fine.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
tell you
that's the way
right
they
now.
work.
There's a big weird dichotomy in what is ranged and what is melee in this game, and I want to keep it vanilla for now,
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
ability to pursue non-vanilla later. But we gotta understand our
That's always
boundaries
good.
with this game first before we push them.
Okay,
Right.
no problem. So I take that back. Evan's like, okay, we're gonna have a little bit of trouble with that, but we'll figure it out.
Got it.
Why are we gonna have trouble with that?
I mean, can you zap that flying one?
Not my turn yet. I don't think.
Oh, well, in that case,
No, Luce just asked, "Why is that a problem?"
he
and
doesn't
that's
understand.
it.
They don't understand. All right, so
Yeah, he's just like, oh, well, I can't hit it, and I'm pretty sure he can't hit it, but if you can zap it.
Corbin just goes, no. All right, next up is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Charles, you're 1 through 3. Denitra, you're 4 through 6. This is for the hex side.
Yep.
2, Charles.
Get
You're going to
zapped.
get a shadow.
All right.
What?
What?
I was just going to say, you're getting Shadow Wings spell cast at you.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I don't like spells.
As like this thing spins and like an inky substance comes out and flies towards you. I'm gonna roll. Let's see, it is insight willpower check for me. So 6 and an 8. It's plus nothing. And this is a magic defense attack.
Alrighty.
Ooh, okay,
Well, that'll hit.
yeah, it will.
That's fine.
Wait, that's... Why am I still on the Magitech Trooper? I'm clicked on the wrong thing, but I rolled those dice flat, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
So it's going to be high roll plus 10, which is a 7. 17 damage. And you suffer the shaken status.
Okay. Is that willpower? Well, I can fight. It's on the sheet.
Yeah.
Somewhere here. I know I saw it. There it is. Nope. But it's willpower, you said?
It's shaken, so if that is willpower, then yes. I don't have that in front of me right now exactly.
Think so. I'm sure it's on the sheet. But okay, so shaken. I'm gonna click it, and it's gonna do whatever it does. Because I don't know what it changed.
Decrements one of your dice.
Yeah, it definitely does. I don't know which one. Can I hover over and see? Willpower die size by 1. Joke's on you. I can't go any lower.
Haha, it doesn't go below 6, idiot. But you are shaken, which means you're affected by a condition, which does mean that its claw attack would be more effective against you now.
Right.
Okay. Next up is a player turn.
All right. So I guess it's me, and then we go back around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said it was week 2. What now?
Light.
Light. Yeah, I don't believe I can. Nope, not yet. That is a higher level
Your
than I am.
infusions.
Yeah, don't have that. That's level 3 of it.
Gotcha.
Or even if I can, I'm not sure. No, I can. No, it's level 2. All right. Then an infusion costs me 2 inventory points.
Okay.
To make happen. I have to hit with it first, right? And then I spend 2 inventory points. So
To
I'm
make it
going to
infuse. Understood.
Yeah. Gonna do that. Oh, I roll a 6. Really?
Oof.
Wait, what did I roll on that? That's my oh wow. 4 and a 1. Holy.
You do have them Fabula points.
Yeah. Is the eye the one that attacked
You.
Corbin?
It attacked you.
The eye's the one that attacked me. Okay. Yeah. Can I use a Fabula point just to reroll, or do I need to invoke a trait or a bond?
It's not just to reroll. You do need to invoke a trait or a
Okay,
bond
yeah, no
to
problem.
bonus.
Okay, bond for a bonus, a trait for
A reroll.
Reroll. Okay. Yeah, I think I could use my theme of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
I have found a group and I don't want to lose them.
Okay.
So I really want to, well, live and stay with these people. I finally found people who I could be with.
Okay.
Do you think that's all right?
Yeah, I'll take that for now.
I'll make that. Can I re-roll in here? Well, I can
You
just
may
press it.
re-roll both or one.
I just re-rolled both. And guess what? 7 and a 1. That's fine. If I miss, I miss. I don't have to spend the inventory points because I did not hit. So what happens there is this is normally a melee, right? It's unarmed attack.
Yeah.
But with this thing, the start of my turn during conflict, I can choose a weapon category other than brawling. I've chosen firearm.
Oh.
So yeah.
I see how this is supposed to work. You make a gun arm and you go cow.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Mega Buster comes out.
Nice.
And shoots but misses.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Right. And that's why you can't use it with like triple slash and other things, right?
Yeah.
I can't use like sharpshooter and all that sort of stuff. But it does miss. That's fine.
Unfortunately.
But it's a Mega Buster for now. And then afterwards, Luce would say, I can get the one flying if you can get the 2 on the ground.
Okay.
Speaking of the 2,
that's the end of my turn.
Yep. Speaking of the 2 on the ground, I'm going to roll a high-low. I'm going to roll a high-low, and it's going to be either Denitra or a clock. Denitra will be high. It is high.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Denitra. Evans, you are getting a swing at you from the Magitech Trooper. Oh God, why are these things rolling so well?
That's awesome.
Yes, it hit. Yes.
No, that's good. We got to see what it's like,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So anyway,
we got to use.
HR is 7, so that's going to be 19 bolt damage.
No.
Owie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ow. I can't take another hit like that.
Yeah,
Can't?
yeah. You probably can't. I gotta.
I thought 50 was the default.
I have 35 HP.
Oh no.
So no, I cannot take another hit like that.
Understood.
So what are you at currently?
Hmm?
What are you at currently?
If mine is what I just got hit with.
Yes, I'm trying to put it in your sheet.
Yeah, hold on.
She got out her Casio. Give her a second.
Yeah, because you've been hit twice, right?
16?
I have 16 hit points left.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm just
Alright.
plugging it in so that we know.
Right.
Yeah, I guess your max is 35.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, you're in crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes
I was like,
stuff
look, I
turns
don't
on
know
that's
the
good for
exact
that.
number. I just know I can't get hit like
Yeah.
that again.
I don't know the number, but what I do know is my evening is in danger. All right.
Yeah.
With all of that, the round comes around. I'm going to go ahead and roll a real quick.
Do we roll initiative again, or do we just, this is our turn first?
I don't believe so, but I can double check. Let me see. I think you just go. No. During each round, player characters and their adversaries will alternate taking turns first turn of the round. Here's if their group check is successful, the enemies if it was a failure. If one side can perform more turns than their adversaries, alternate turns for as long as possible. Then decide with more turns, perform them at the end of the round. Okay, so just real quick. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, so it's new round and you all are still first.
Cool.
Who has an idea? Anybody? No?
Um
Avoid
thought you were gonna say
electrical
something, that's why I-
discharge.
Cord walks up, puts up two dukes and goes, "Ugh." And you almost see like a steam of exhalation come out of him.
Oh, that's good. That's fine.
Probably.
It's good. That guy's on our side.
Mhm. I guess Corbin will look at him and be like, yeah, guess good a time as any. And I will rush forward to one of the, I guess, soldiers. So I
Mhm.
can't attack flying either. And I'll go for an attack. Do I just... Nine, I guess.
That hits.
Nice.
And then it is 16 damage.
Oh yeah.
It will take 16 damage.
There we go.
It is not yet in crisis.
Well, then, let's put it in crisis.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Ooh.
I have such bad rolls in this game so far.
You can Fabula. I mean, we're gonna get more.
You are. It's true.
It's true.
Especially if you get knocked out. You get 2 for that.
Yep. How dare
Okay,
you
I
make me
guess so.
bleed my own blood?
Spin it and
But we're not just spending Fabula points. You do have to invoke a trait.
Yep.
which is either my identity or my theme.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or origin, theoretically.
Yep.
I mean, my theme is justice, right? Well, which one of them hit Evans?
That would
The other
be
one?
The floating one.
yeah,
Floating one?
Floating one.
Damn. I can't hit them. I guess justice for hitting me. I don't know.
Sure. Retribution.
Okay.
Okay.
Retribution, yeah.
I'll take it. Go ahead and reroll. You're gonna love to hear that hits.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
I should have just re-rolled my might and kept one of the mites at 3 and the other one at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd have thought that'd be better? But yeah, okay, then that's another 16 damage.
Very nice. This thing looks beat up and in crisis now.
It's the first of my 2 extra attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he just he has the broken off sword in his left hand, and he proceeds to make 2 quick slashes against this soldier.
Alrighty.
Nice.
All right, and next turn we're going to have one of the other one noticing that you've started dealing a heavy amount of damage. The eyeball threat assesses, does like a little whistling noise over to the other one, and the other one is just going to turn and try to stab at you. Wait, no, wait, I can't do that. I have to always roll random. This game is very weird about it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I rolled randomly, and that is our good boy Evans. Do have to roll them randomly, right? I'm pretty sure that's like a rule in this game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. The game master is strongly encouraged to determine targets for most NPC attacks at random. This alleviates some of the responsibility and makes battles fairer. Yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, here
Sure.
we go. What is... What? Hey, look at that.
Oh.
That is a critical fail, which does nothing to an NPC
Well,
as far as I'm aware.
yeah, I don't think so.
Evans, you dodged the hell out of that. All right, it's a player turn now.
Do you want to go, Evans, or should I?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I'm still building your sheet, but if
I
you need
thought I
anything,
just
I can
needed.
get it to you.
Okay, I figured if I use my weapon, I just do ins plus dex, right?
Click on your if you open the characters. No, you don't have it. Click on your name in the bottom left, where it says player.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see user setup. Click it.
Wait.
Your name and
Create
player,
new?
or right click it. User configuration.
Huh?
Then player character, pick Evans. Then hit the save button at the bottom.
A.
Now, third tab on the right, actors, you can click on Evans and you have your chain whip, which you can just click on. I think that it's set up. No, I need to. Now it's set up. So you just click on the icon. It's just like when you click on the dice. There you go. So swinging at one of the on the ground guys.
10 will hit.
The one that was also being smacked.
Okay. He is looking very rough now, but you also see him kind of go, and it starts to like shudder a little bit more. And as it does, you notice that it seems to almost have a bit of a more charge going into its limbs.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. That's fine.
Yeah, that's probably great.
Fine.
So anyway.
When Evan sees that, he's just like, hey, something going on here.
Hey, yo,
Don't like
not
that.
great. 6. A 1. The other one that has the supercharge is going to be aiming at you, Luce.
Okay.
Okay. Oof. 13 will hit.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it's versus.
Yeah, the +3 that this thing
That's
gets
fine.
to SWAT is, I think, the real game changing thing here.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a total of 18 damage coming your way. How you looking?
All right. I taken you before. I was still building the sheet. I didn't have a sheet at the time. I think maybe I wrote in my character sheet. No, I have
Just
not.
me and Evans have taken damage.
Okay. So 17?
Yes. 12 plus. Yeah.
Cool. I am not in crisis yet.
No.
But
All
that
right.
that's a good chunk.
Yep, definitely strong. All right, so it shifts forward and does like a flailing wide stab at you, but you are now slowed as well.
Oh no.
Rude.
Yep.
I'll click that once I remember where to find that. I think that's probably dexterity or something.
And that's another player turn.
Cool. I'm gonna click on slow so it does it. All right, cool. I don't like these things. I don't like how this is going. Are any of them, can I tell if any of them are in crisis?
Oh yeah,
That's a good question.
the one that just stabbed you is on death's door. It's been hit 4 times.
Okay, got you. Okay. Floating guy hasn't been hit at all because I missed.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is
clean.
Also fresh?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep focusing on the floating thing like I said I would.
Okay.
So I will try and attack it. All right. I wonder if this is gonna work. Nope. Ah, well, it told me how to do it. That's. Did that work? Do I have it? Yeah, I do. Cool. Awesome. So I'm gonna use the handgun again. There it is. 9. Oh, I got doubles.
Doubles not
That's
at a
good,
6
right?
though. Oh, you're right. That's why it didn't tell me that it was. That's
yeah.
fine.
Unfortunately, a 9 does not hit this thing's defense. Do you have anything that you can do to try to bolster yourself?
Yeah. I'm just gonna use all the points that I can. Because why not? We got to see how many we get. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say you probably don't want to re-roll your. You might want to keep a die, just in case.
Yeah, I'll keep might because that's half. Dex can go up higher, all the way to 10.
Okay.
And it did not get decreased, so I don't know what slow does. I'll look that up just to make sure that that's true.
Okay. I can check some stuff too.
What does slow do? Look it up.
Slow reduces dexterity die size by 1.
Okay, so it should have.
The thing didn't do anything, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I think if you were to click on my character, you'll see bottom right below my picture. It has it there. Oh, now I can hover over. That's cool. And it's telling me that it reduces it by 1. So Dex is an 8 now. Might is also an 8, but I'm still going to reroll that Dex.
Okay, sounds good.
So what I'm going to do, this would be invoking. I don't want to do belonging again. But I think that's the only thing that I can, because my identity doesn't really matter here. My origin is right now, because we didn't go super far into it, a breach with no monsters. That's my origin. I don't know anything else other than that. And I don't think I can invoke that. So I will invoke the theme of belonging, especially now that people are about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like the way you said yeah.
Well, look, I got hit really hard.
That's a total of 12 now.
Yeah. Okay. The 12 will hit one above.
Nice.
You do know that
okay.
this thing's armor class is an 11 from the scan. So.
Okay, cool.
Not only
now,
does that hit, but you deal 16 damage to it.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And since I hit, yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, did I think I got, I've been trying to build it and I want to press the buttons just to see that it works.
Sure.
What does that do? Okay. So it pops up all that stuff, but I can use the 2 inventory points from here. And yep, that worked. So my IP went down by 2. And it will be Exorcism, which is the attack does 5 extra damage and its damage becomes light.
It does how much extra damage?
5. That's the only thing you can ever get is a 5 extra.
But it's light.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's vuln to light, which means it takes double, and you dealt it 21 damage, meaning it will take 42 damage in one.
Does it explode?
So you miss with the coo, and then you just go.
Yeah.
This thing takes 42. It is immediately looking the most fucked up of anything currently here. It went from 50 HP to 8.
Well, all we got to do is hit. That's it. All we got to do is hit.
Just hit. It's just that simple.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of my turn, and yeah, that's inventory points, so I can't do that all that many times.
No, yeah, but dang, that's real good.
Yep. But I can't, like multi or AoE. It's only one. Even if I have an AoE, it's one of them.
Even still, it's not bad.
No, it is definitely not. But I don't know weaknesses, so I need Evans. But yep. With that, that's the end of my turn.
Yep. Hey, Philip.
Yeah.
Spooky fly thing. Oh, wait. So something that's of note, Charles. With this particular enemy, it is below its half threshold, which means it is now no longer flying. It starts flopping around on the ground.
Get wrecked, you flying bastard. That is not what Luce said.
Good, because
it's very quiet now.
It does swing at you. Because you are the most affected by conditions in the party.
Yep. This is true.
D8, D10. That is with no plus. A 12 to hit.
12 to hit is going to hit me by 1.
Okay. You are taking... Oh, here we go. 13 plus 5. 18.
Ooh, 18 damage. Owie. So then that leaves me with 15.
Oof. All right.
Which puts me into crisis.
Yes, it does. We are in crisis core.
Yep.
All right. So that is now a player's turn, I want to say. I think the only person who hasn't gone yet is Evans, right? No, Evans went. Wait.
Evans went, so we're back at the top.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, okay. So it's you guys' turn again.
Yeah, and we get to choose. So who would like to do it? We can start using consumables. I don't know how that works.
You
It's
spend
three
inventory
three
points.
inventory point
Mhm.
for either 50 health or 50 MP. I was thinking I could go and use the provoke ability and basically be a damage sponge while you try and hurt him.
Can you
But-
click the provoke ability for me?
Sure.
Oh,
no,
that's great.
no, I cannot.
Um,
Well, obviously the provoke
Skill-
ability provokes. I'm an idiot. More the fool
What?
me.
Was that
It
from?
does.
I believe it's the
Your
berserker.
Weapon Master.
Oh, it's weapon master.
Nope, you were correct. Fury. Provoke for 5 MP, an opposed might and willpower check against a creature I can see. If I succeed, they suffer enraged, and they are compelled to focus their attention on me. It ends if I fall unconscious or leave the scene. If the creature is no longer enraged, or if they are successfully provoked by someone else, and I get a +1 on my roll for my skill level.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, and it's opposed. So who are you provoking?
Well, so that's my thing. Like I could provoke twice, or I could attack and maybe kill one of them.
It's true.
And then
Since they're
provoke
both
whatever's
on the-
left over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. That's they're both opposed in a way, so it's up to you. Yeah,
I guess
technically.
the whatchamacallit, the ground unit, the soldier that I was fighting is pretty badly damaged,
Oh
right?
yeah, it doesn't look like it survives another swing.
Okay, I'll try one attack on that.
Okay.
9.
A 9 will hit that big guy. All right, so you dealt 16 damage. That knocks it out.
Nice.
So
Okay.
as you hit it, you stab through the center of the thing, and you see it just kind of slump in on itself and then crumble outwards.
So now that leaves the formerly flying eye and one more statue, correct?
That's correct.
And the eye looks weak. And the statue is almost full health. The other statue.
Yep, is almost full health.
Yep.
Okay, then I'll provoke the other statue, I guess.
Okay.
I will roll a. Was it might and willpower? Here, you read that. Yep. Might, willpower, contested. Modifier +1. So 13.
Pretty good. Let's see. Might and willpower. 10 and 8. Nope. So it is provoked to you.
That is the end of my acceleration.
Yep. You're now just a normal speed lad.
Yep.
And I lose 5 MP.
Yep. All right. So next up is going to be an NPC turn. We're going to have the Hexai go. Now we're going to have the provoked guy because he just got enraged. He's going to go swing at you.
And his dex and insight dice are reduced by 1. So I'm not sure what he attacks with, but if it's dexterity or insight, it's
Yeah.
One-
Yeah, it is
one dice smaller.
dexterity might. So you're saying its dex is reduced by 1 because of enrage?
Mhm.
Well, I've got terrible news. Its dex is a 6.
okay. It's a 4.
Can it
Right?
reduce to a
That
4?
work? I have no idea.
Nah, we'll do it. We'll see what happens. Okay, so if it reduced down to a 4, then the might is still 10. So we're going to get a +3 here. Still 14.
What the?
It rolled a 10 on its
What the
10.
what?
Wow.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, it gets to hit me, but then I got bad news for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay. Well. Oh. Yeah. So it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you for 22 damage.
Oh
Ow.
my god.
22. Okay.
It rolled a
Good
10.
22.
Yeah.
James,
You're still
Yeah,
conscious.
Denitra.
you're a little out of focus.
Oh, I am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This camera's
Okay. Well, I get real mad real fast.
sure.
You just sort of see like I don't know, like I don't want to say Super Saiyan anything, silly, like not silly, but like extreme like that. But you can see Corbin is definitely like he's like amped up now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, Weapon Master counterattack. When after an enemy hits or misses you with a melee attack, if the result was an even number, you perform a free attack against that enemy.
Oh,
This must be a melee attack.
Nice. That's cool.
That is cool.
interesting.
This times be treat your high roll as 0 when calculating damage dealt by this attack.
Yeah, fair.
So I get a free attack
Mhm.
for a 15.
That will hit.
So that
It's a 19 total.
no. So my high roll is a 0.
Okay, so it's
So
only
it's a mod 10. But I am currently rolling through. I have flooded with adrenaline.
Hmm.
So as long as I'm in crisis, you deal 2 extra damage.
So 12.
12 hit. So 12 damage. Yeah.
Okay,
So
understood.
however he hits me, I get real mad and just spin like I think of like if I got hit by something, it causes me to twirl in one direction and use that momentum to keep going and swing back and slice through it.
Yeah, you definitely slice through. It is not in crisis yet, but it certainly a 12 is a strong hit out of nowhere. It is now a player turn since this is a counterattack on that thing's turn.
Oh, sorry. I would like to I want to do something to the stupid hex eye.
Okay.
Ooh, what you got?
Something special.
Something special.
Click it.
All right.
Okay, hold on.
Your soul is mine. Maybe.
I want to try.
She's gonna try and take control of it.
Yeah.
I was trying to get her features in here, and I'm like, I know you have one that does something to constructs. Yes, you
Yeah.
do. Insight. It has to do it.
So it has to do it back. It has to say
Yeah,
hi
and
back.
if she, yeah,
Okay. It has a non-zero chance of succeeding this. It did not.
Yeah. Oh,
What with its insight being a d6. So what do you do to it now?
she gains control of the creature until the end of the scene.
Oh. All right. Well,
Yeah,
it's your
I was like-
Hex-Eye's turn.
All right.
Yeah, you get to hit its friend.
So before I do that,
Uh-huh.
now I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
Could I use this hex eye, like, I'm assuming it's like the boss of this encounter? Could I use this to stop the encounter, like override it and be like, make everybody allies or shut down or whatever?
Yes, you can.
So Evans, he's locked in with the eye. He's like, aha, hold on. I know something about these stupid robots. And he somehow
you know, Hacker Man, I'm in, and he commands the eye to basically stop the other robots from attacking.
Okay, so you're just trying to get it to basically tell the other one to go the fuck away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, lay down and die.
It, you see the deactivation command as the thing goes and hits like a little gem that's on the Magitech Knight's head, and the thing just kind of goes boom, and as it hits sideways, you see that these things were being held together by like very little left, and were not ready to be reactivated again so hastily. And as it hits, it kind of just crumples in on itself and falls to the side.
That's a cool trick.
You know.
No, I don't.
I'll tell you more about it, once
You
I mean,
hear,
look.
you hear the lightest voice on the wind that only you can hear. Evans, are you ever gonna tell them about me?
He's like, yeah, just not now.
Okay.
Everybody else is like, what is he talking about? Maybe we'll have a talk the next time we camp, where we'll learn more about each other, and hopefully you can remember.
I don't mean to pry. I know I shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk.
Choom, psh, choom, psh, choom. And you see the purse goes into a rest mode.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You all were.
It's done.
Oh my gosh! You beat them all up. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. That's great. I thought maybe there was going to be trouble. Cord, you didn't even have to fight.
It hurt though.
It almost. Gosh, I'm having a bubblegum crisis right now. Gosh, guys.
I don't know what that means.
You can't just shout catchphrase into the air. You can. You're absolutely allowed. You see, as she does something to the, she starts like tic-tacking away on like a console that is on her purse, and as she does that, she says, "Hold on a second. Wait, oh, okay, that's interesting. Hold on, watch this." And you see she moves over to the console with the uh pulsing thing, and she goes over, finds a console, starts hitting something, and says, "So, how's everybody feeling?" You still feel normal right now.
Oh, the Corbin sort of points to like the bleeding that he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so hold on, I can. And she tick tick tack tick tick tack tack, and as she does, you see that the shimmering thing that keeps collapsing and uncollapsing just stabilizes, and once it does, you notice that it's a display screen that has a bunch of options on it. And this is an automated store. Congratulations, you have gotten to the NPC that you can buy stuff from point of the quest start, which means that you are allowed to spend gold to refresh your inventory points.
Ooh.
At a rate of 10 per.
10
Which
gold per
means
point.
if you need to heal, or you need to use if you need to use inventory points to heal up, you can then replenish them after. At cost.
Okay. Well, then
cool.
I guess I'll spend 3 points. That's a healing potion, which I think is 50 health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm I
That's nice.
don't have. I have control of Evan's sheet, so I'm just throwing stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can get it from a place and put it on here. So
Yeah, thanks.
if you'd like me to do that, or if you'd
Yes.
like me to teach you to do that, we can
Yes.
talk about it.
I would like you to teach me it, just not right now.
Yeah, so I can help you with that as well, Phil.
Cool.
Because then you could put all the consumables there and just click one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, I think I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a little bit late in the evening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
I noticed myself almost nod off there for a second. So I think at this point, go ahead and heal up as far as you want to.
Sure.
And we're going to call it closed for now. And we're going to come back with the second half of this next time.
I'm
Very
so
nice. Very nice.
yeah, this was
It's fun.
fun. I'm already intrigued and thinking about more stuff and more flavor. Add more spice.
Speaking of spice, what was that weird bird you all heard the other night?
I know, right?
So
We're gonna talk about the weird bird like during our next downtime, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
Evans is intrigued. Denitra's really intrigued.
Denitra, I think that for this one, if it actually does happen the way that I'm hoping it does, I will have outdone myself because the villains for this game are the flavor, the absolute flavor of it. And I think I
Yeah.
have found a very interesting uptick point for a villain that I'm really going to enjoy potentially. So we'll see. We'll see.
Very cool.
Oh, and we'll see. I'm already intrigued.
Alrighty, well, that is the first flight of our new Fabula Ultima game that we are playing, and we are going to go ahead and continue on with this in 2 weeks if everyone's available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Or is
Um,
that bad timing?
what's into?
I will be in the ocean.
Oh, you will.
That's right.
Dag, yo.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So
Yeah, we'll figure it
with
out.
That
the
don't
I'll,
let's not
I
let's not
shoot
talk
back.
about that anymore while online though.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, that is the end of our +1 shoot the shit stream. We are going to go ahead and start signing off for the night. But in the meantime, this is +1 shoot the shit. We are +1 shot. That is plus the word _1, the number _shot the word. We're available on Twitch. We're available on YouTube. There's a few other games that are played on the channel. They're finishing up the Diablo campaign. And of course, Splinters of Faith is faithfully being played every other weekend. So go ahead and please enjoy watching those of us, peruse our catalog. We've had quite a backlog of games at this point, and we hope to see everybody again here shortly. Everybody else, thank you all for playing. I've been your GM, and I hope to be your GM many more times. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
running.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.